got some of the...
Okay. This is gonna be a weird stream. Let me just I'm gonna do a quick sound check, not a mic check, but a playback check. Um I gotta do a playback check just to check if this thing is if my stuff is working. Definitely gotta do that real quick. Let me do this. Let's press play just on this, and I'm gonna just do I'm gonna do a quick sound check on that. Let me do a quick sound check with the playback check, not a mic check, but a video check.
Literally kicked me and Wayne literally kicked me and my daughter out on Mother's Day today. And I am just recovering from surgery. I am 5 weeks out from a full mommy makeover. I can't even lift boxes, but this man has his assistants and people coming to help kick us out today. Like, and broke up with me on Mother's Day through text. And like, and her birthday's next weekend. And I leave to New York this week for all the Sports Illustrated.
Okay, looks like we're all good so far. But let's start off obviously with the video, and then we'll go through everything else and then come back to the video.
Like, when I tell you that I am absolutely unsure on how to even process my emotions, like, if y'all got lawyer recommendations, please send them, because, you know, so yeah, I know he has 2 girls being flown in today, and who knows how many plethora of girls he has. I've been nothing but supportive to this man, loved him till the end of the fucking world, but Wayne literally
to the end of the road. Oh man. You hoes, all of you hoes. I would do more like I would have more Drake sound bites if YouTube could have permitted me. You know what I mean? Like I would definitely have more, definitely more Drake sound bites. I would definitely have more Drake sound bites. But now I just got to settle with stuff like
congratulations, you played yourself.
You know, simple things. But I'm still grateful for these sound bites. Still grateful. Still grateful. Grateful. Anyways, oh, by the way, guys, I went to church this weekend. I went to church this weekend. Yeah. I went to good old fashion service. Yeah. I wanted to see but the reason why I was there, I wanted to see somebody that I knew. He was playing on the keys. I wanted to see him play live. So I said, "Oh, let me. What church you go to? I'll see. Let me see how you play over there with your peoples." So I went over. So I went over. Yes, sir. And I like what I heard. He ends up telling me though, like, I guess for that particular service, he was supposed to play bass. I was like, "You play bass too?" Yeah, there's some dudes out here that are just walking like bags of talent, just straight up bags of talent. You know what I mean? Just straight talent. something that you can't, when you talk about talent and knowing, because it's not just learning how to play, it's also the feel. It's also the feel. It's also a feel. Um, hold on for a sec. Let's open up. What should I open up? Oh, did you see this? Let me see. I think I should start off with um I think I should start off with Mama Daniels. I think I should, but maybe I don't know because the copyright. I might not want to risk the copyright. And yeah, also I don't know if you guys heard the news, but um the girl that did the pop the balloon stuff. So basically any channel, particularly manosphere channels that were doing pop the balloon stuff, um that did a video on her, they got basically not demonetized, but they got a copyright strike on it. So I get a notification, oh, this video has been claimed via I'm like, what? I'm like, which one is this? And I'm hearing basically, particularly with the manosphere channels, because a lot of, or man adjacent, men centered adjacent channels, they were using her material too much. you know so it looks like people in this space basically got the copyright strike with the when it comes to the pop the balloon stuff, which is crazy work in my opinion, because technically if it wasn't for us really covering it, you know that's why I try. That's why I'm remember when I told you guys, I said, let me I'm gonna have to limit. I know I said I had 3 or 4 videos, at least 3 or 4 videos, which did a lot of numbers. But I told you guys, I'm like, I'm not gonna do pop the balloons stuff anymore because it's too easy. And then on top of that, I feel like it's just the show in and of itself is just it would it would be like me covering fresh and fit videos or segments. It really wouldn't be worth it. And so that's why I said, I'm like, I hope you guys are not like just living off of those pop the balloon segments to make for easy views, because I had a feeling that was going to backfire, and lo and behold, Pyro said my wife said I have 10 minutes on the phone or she would take it away for a week. uh oh yeah, me said mediocre tutorials got his channels hit too. A lot of his videos. Yep, I heard about that too. I was like, it seems like all the, you know, a lot of the RP and Manosphere channels got hit the most. And I know we weren't the only one using the content. So this is and on top of that, cause the lady that runs it with her husband, they like now they're putting the show on Netflix. So I maybe it has something to do with that, but I just find it interesting that basically all the Manosphere related, channels, they got hit the most. They got hit the hardest. That's very interesting. It's a combination of us using it too much, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, too, I think this is targeted. I think this is something that they're trying to do that is to discourage us from making the content. Yeah, so oh yeah, and I had another video of mine that got flagged. Um let me show you something real quick. It's a video that I recently did. It's a video that I recently did. Let me show you guys. It's a video I recently did that got flagged. Um, it's this video right here. Let me show you. So it's the hype pill video. So when I did this video, it got flagged. I was like, for what? And then they said the music in it. And I was like, I gave the artist credit. This is in like this song right here, it's in like a lot of my videos. Why is it specifically targeting this video? Because I've used this song for many of my recent videos, but this particular video got flagged for copyright with the music, even though I gave the credit. And you're just like, I gave the credit in there. But I find it interesting. This was the video. But it's the same thing with the video that I did in when I said incels are not the problem. I get a whole strike. I'm talking about a strike on my channel. Not a copyright strike. I'm talking about a strike on my channel for the incels are not the problem video. And it's like the month of October, and I had made that video in January of 2024. And I'm like, is there a bug on my channel where they're just looking for videos that could trigger something and then they're reporting it? So, I gotta tread carefully nowadays. I gotta tread really, really carefully because I do think there is a bug on my channel. There are people online where you'll say something on Instagram and they will stalk you for the end until the end of time just you know it's so weird. Like these new people now, they're weird. Like they're very weird. Pyro says you're exposing women who disqualified men for anything too. Crazy work. But it's just men, please be careful. Just be careful because I know there were like people like that would give me like DMs. Like I remember this one weirdo dude where he was like, like he was like stalking my page, and then he sends me a DM. He's like, interesting channel you have, YouTube channel you have. Shame if something were happening. I'm like, that's the message I got. I was like, what the kind of weirdo say something like that, you know? But like you'll say a comment on Instagram and people will stalk your page. I've shown you examples of people just straight up stalking my page after I said one thing. Meanwhile, I'm not even tagging the people, and they see something I say on Instagram or I comment, and they take it so personally. So they think the solution is to ban my channel. They try to mass report your channel. So so the powers that may be, or the people that run YouTube gain access or attention to it. All of a sudden, I get a strike on my channel for hate speech. I'm just like, are you serious? You know. And that's why, yep, Gary Gray, you're exactly right. They always target the small channels too. They don't really target the bigger channels. They target smaller channels. So I don't know, Garrett, if you know of a guy called Iman67. That's a guy that I listened to really throughout, I'll say from 2017. Somebody that really helped me. Like this was a MGTOW guy who really helped me. He's not that well known, but his channel was called Iman67. Anytime his channel started getting a little bit of traction, his channel would get taken. Mind you, he's not swearing on his channel. He's not calling women the B word. He's really not even saying, and I'm saying he's not saying nothing hateful. He's not even dissing the women. He's just like, after every single video he does, he'd be like, guys, you got to get your passport. you got to get your passport. You got to we got to get out of here. That's what he would say. Like after every single video he'd be like, we got to get out of here. You know, I don't know if he's, but the thing is, so Gary Grant said no, but I'll check him out. I don't know if he's still there, but let me bring up his channel. I hope it's still there because his channel has been taken down so many times. It's ridiculous. So no, that's not it. That's not it. This is not. This is not. This is not it. This is not his channel. Don't search that. Do not search that. This is not it. It's not an Indian dude. It's a black dude. His maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Iman 67 Mintel. Yeah, they took down his channel, bro. Because I used to be subscribed to him, but I eventually I couldn't even find his channel no more. I'm like, where is he at? You see, MGTOW, Iman. Oh, okay, maybe that's why I was spelling it wrong. Iman 67. Okay, yeah, exactly. This was his channel. So right here, yeah, this is it. This is it right here. Now, the subscriber count right here is very inaccurate. He used to have thousands of subscribers. Like, I'm pretty sure, yeah, at one point he had over 10K subscribers, but he would have thousands of subscribers. That's what he had, right? He had like thousands of subscribers, but his channel kept getting taken and taken out. So it looks like he's about to get back up to 1,000 again. So congratulations to him. But yeah, this is his channel. Let me give him a subscribe. He would show the TikToks and then give his commentary afterwards. But a lot of his videos was just showing the TikToks of women just being women. He would get his channel taken every single time. So this is his channel right here. If you guys, if you could guys could, he could give him a sub because he really and he, oh yeah, and he definitely put me onto the was it the passport bro movement, whatever. These are two movements that when you talk about the passport bros and the MGTOWs, you know, the obsession that the normies have with certain groups or certain sex, it still boggles my mind. You say you don't want these guys, you can do without them, but you're actively on these people's channels, actively getting their channels taken out. There's a lot of MGTOW channels, particularly MGTOW channels, that have been flagged for hate speech. I don't even know how that's even possible. The stuff that I've heard Myron say, the stuff I've heard uh um these PUAs be saying, and they get to keep their channel for a way longer period of time. And people don't even understand why the reason why Fresh and Fit got demonetized is not because of what they said about women. It's because Myron was saying something about Jake Paul's wife or his fiance, and people don't understand. Logan Paul and Jake Paul, these people are plugged into the Matrix. So those people are off limits. So once he talked about Logan Paul's wife, all of a sudden next day, Fresh Fit get demonetized. you know? But if it wasn't for that, they would have still been monetized. And the reason why channels like Fresh and Fit or the PUA channels, or you see these channels with the what they call these channels, the Rizzler, these Riz channels, they will always be monetized because at the end of the day, these people prioritize giving all their attention to women. And their whole channel is focused on picking up women, getting with women, sleeping with women. Now, mind you, MGTOW is just basically just walking away, not cursing them out, not calling them, not even, not even really calling them 304s or anything, or the B word or anything. Just leaving them alone. And yet these channels get reported, they get tagged, flagged for hate speech. It just makes no sense to me, but obviously seeing this, it just brought me to the conclusion that clearly a man's biggest power is walking away. Because for them to be so scared of men just being like, well, I don't really have to do this. I don't really have to get married. I really don't have to take care of a single mother. I really don't have to take care or join in union with a woman riddled with debt. But the problem is the MGTOW creators, right? Or MGTOW adjacent creators, passport bros, right? SYSBM, right? Another channel I like, the black what's it, agnostic. Is that his name, Black Agnostic? But yeah, like channels like that, they encourage men walking away and not feeding into the system. Let me see, the Black Agnostic. I'm trying to look for that guy's channel's name. That's another guy I really like, that I've been subscribed to for a while. I think it's called, what's his? Yeah, that's his name. Black Pill Gnostic. This guy right here, Black Pill Gnostic. This guy, I love this guy right here. I've been subscribed to him for a while. This guy put me onto a lot of stuff. Um, but yeah, guys like these are the guys that get targeted. You know, I hope he's still monetized. He should be, but when it's just when our message is more of, because our message is kind of towards of just leave them alone, leave them alone. But men walking away from the system is clearly the threat. It's clearly the threat. Oh yeah, Chronic and Hammerhand, like yeah, these guys have got, like, I think Chronic has like how many channels now? He's had to make like over 10 channels. I think almost over 15 channels Chronic has had to make. Hammerhand, same thing, constantly demonetized. Like Hammerhand might as well stop trying. Yeah, I'll say specifically with Hammerhand, he might as well stop trying. And I'll say Sandman, YouTube, or the powers that may be in YouTube, have a ridiculous hard on for Sandman. I've never gotten it. Like these people don't, they like, particularly Sandman, he doesn't even really talk about what women are doing. He's just giving men alternatives. And these guys get actively hounded. I don't, I like, this is peak weirdo behavior. Peak weirdo behavior. You say you don't need these guys. These guys could, and like they, like if they saw us or if they knew of us, they would try to get us fired from our jobs. They would literally leave us out to die. But at the same time, they still want us to still participate. They still want us to take care of single moms. They still want us to, get married, still participate in the system. Are you kidding me? It's they don't want they hate us because they really don't. They can't, a lot of, particularly like today's women, they can't stand men, right? But they still don't want us to go overseas. They still don't want us to, oh, you're taking advantage of, you don't care about us. So why do you care that we leave? But this is unfortunately the reality that we're in. Pyro says, Chris, you destroy the economy if you tell men to leave women alone and save your money and put yourself first. Exactly. And then on top of that, like, and this is why, even the stuff that I disagree with Chronic, I love how he hits the main points with why the conservatives want men to participate in the system. Because technically, we should just let it just crash. But really, they need us, including the boomers, including the Gen X. They need us participating. So now this is why you're seeing this whole, quote unquote push for family and all this stuff. Family first. They could do all this stuff, we're gonna attack immigration and we're gonna do that, bruh. Bottom line is White women don't want to have kids. Black women are killing their kids. And then what does it leave left? That's bottom line. Then you got basically the rest you got to deal with. I mean, if you can't solve that problem, and it's not just they don't, the younger women of those races don't want to have kids. Not only that, they don't want to even they're not even thinking about being in a family. And if they are, say if they do have a husband, they're not those young couples are not having kids. So until you solve that problem, everything else is just hogwash. So what they're left doing is trying to push men into participating in the system, because without us, there's no retirement fund, there's no social security, there's no where there's no people helping these people that are on top. At the end of the day, you need male participation. You need the male participation. Yeah, let's see, Black Gnostic Speaks. That's one of my favorite channels on YouTube. Yes, sir. He's monetized. Good, 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 good. Yeah, Chronic has lost countless channels. Oh man. So Tu Mama Tambien. LOL, girls love Wayne so much when he dumps them, they sue him. And I know, I don't know if you're new to the channel, Tu Mama Tambien. Um, I've already made that prediction. I said by 2026, it's just gonna be I know we already have a slew of false allegations now, but it's just once I said once after the 2026 World Cup, it's just gonna be a whole onslaught of false allegations from women. Just straight false. Just so anytime a man tries to break up, particularly if a celebrity is breaking up with a woman, it's not gonna be, there's no such thing as a woman just breaking up and moving on. If they have no landing spot, they're going to either accuse you of SA or PA. So SA, you should already know what the S stands for, actual, right? And A stands for salt. We're just gonna say it like that. Actual salt. Extra salt. We'll say it like that, right? And then PA, so physical A. Physical salt. We'll say it like that, right? So this is, but it looks like the timeline has been, I gotta really increase that timeline, because at first I was like, by the year 2030, then it was by the year 2028, then I was like, by the year 20, I was like, okay, once the World Cup happens, 2026, but it's happening right now. So this is where we will cover the Lil Wayne situation later on. We will cover it. It's, I will say this also, if there's any women listening to this or listening to the playback, if you are a gordita or you're taller than your man, you trying to put that PA claim on him is not gonna work. That PA, because people don't even buy it. Even like the mainstream media, they're not buying it. Even they're reporting it, but they're not buying it. Because Lil Wayne is like 5'5". And that's oh man, that's another thing too. We got to go into that, the physical dynamics of it. Because Lil Wayne's like 5'5" with a gordita girlfriend. The girlfriend like that he has is huge. She's a walrus. Well, she's not like super fat, but she is a gordita, right? She's a fat Latina woman that's probably bigger. She looks bigger than Wayne. When I saw them, when you see them standing next to each other, she looks bigger than him. Let me see if I can bring up a picture real quick. Actually, let me see if I can bring up a picture just to show you the illustration. Just to show you the difference. Oh, I don't think I have a picture of them standing next to each other on my computer. So let's see. Lil Wayne standing next to Denise Bidot. Is that her name? Yeah, because I know there's like a image of them like standing next to each other at like at a spot, and like she's just bigger than him. She's taller than him and wider than him. So her trying to say try to claim abuse. It just people are just like, huh? And that's why I always try to tell, particularly bigger folk. That's another reason why women don't they tend not to be with guys of similar size, especially if they're taller than the man, because that kind of that's one piece of leverage that they don't have over you. And since in general women are physically weaker than men, they need to have they need to have all the chips stacked in in their favor when it comes to the court of public opinion, right? So, in case of emergency, if something happens, she's going to need protection. If she needs protection from her own man, she needs to be able to be like, she needs to be able to point at Broski and be like, "Yo, he did this to me," and she gets help right away. This is also why I try to tell people. This is I know I'm kind of getting into a lot of things. I'll say this is also why when you hear women say, "Oh, I want my man to be tatted up. He needs to look dangerous and blah blah blah." Another part of that equation is she likes bad boys like that because once it goes wrong, she could always say, "Well, he was a bad boy," and she's right. That guy is a bad boy. So she can always have the benefit of the doubt. If she points at him, "Hey, he did this to me. He didn't do this." You're going to look at him and you're going to judge him at first glance. That's another part of the equation. This is why like people like Sierra, like she wants to leave Russell Wilson, but she can't because she can't be the victim if she leaves Russell Wilson. Her own fans are gonna hold her accountable. They'll be like, "Isn't this supposed to be the good guy that you prayed for?" You know. Oh, so this is the best photo I can find in terms of this is the best photo I can find. So I know that I have a better photo than this though. I know I have a better photo than this, but let me show you guys something real quick. Because I remember seeing a better photo where she's like standing directly next to Wayne, and yes, she was in heels, but she was significantly bigger than. I'm not gonna say significant, but she's clear. I'll say she's clearly bigger, a bigger person than Lil Wayne, height and width. So since she was with Wayne for a significant period of time, right? She can't claim SA, right? And everybody has seen them together, so she can't claim SA. So they've been together for what 3 to 4 years. He's put her out in public, so she can only claim PA, but it looks crazy. They're like, so even like say if Lil Wayne was doing it in opposite land, even though we know she's lying, but say in opposite land she was telling the truth, how would we even believe her? Just off the optics, just off the optics alone, nobody would believe, right? uh, Let me see. But this is why women tend to go with guys bigger, stronger, guys that look dangerous. It's not just necessarily just the physical attraction, it's also the fact that if he gets out of line, all she got to do is point at the dude and people will be like, "Get away from her, you big dangerous scary man." Which, because most people are idiots and they fall for it. This is why, like, what ends up happening is you'll see like a lot of guys that are actually like physically dangerous to their women. They're really good at hiding it. They're usually not like these big burly dudes. They're usually guys that are probably around 5'10", 6 feet tall, still taller than most women, but somewhere around that average size or even shorter. But mostly it's average size guys that tend to actually really get away with actually putting their hands physically on their woman, because at first glance they're not going to look the part. This is there's a science to that, you know. Hey, I love this comment though. Wheezy F baby and the F is for the front door. I think I know that whole verse. I think I know that whole verse. I'm not even gonna hold you. I think I know that whole verse from that song. Oh, what's the song's name? God damn it. It's Drake's song, but I'm blanking on it. Was super popular in 2010. It was off the Take Care album. No, not the Take Care album, the Thank Me Later album. Um Miss Me. Yes, that's what it was called. Miss Me. That song was huge in 2010, in the summer of 2010. What? That Lil Wayne verse. I think I know the Lil Wayne verse by heart. I think I know it by heart. I think I know, but I remember that. Wheezy F baby in the F is for the front door. That's why I bring him. So when I first saw the headline of Lil Wayne kicks girlfriend out on Mother's Day, the first thing I thought of, Wheezy F baby in the F is for the front door. That's why I bring him. And then I'm not going to say the last part because he puts a gang affiliation at the end of the verse. But I think I know the whole verse. I think I know the whole verse. If I get the chance, I don't know. Pan the man, shout out to you. He says they like to act as if they didn't know he was a bad guy and he changed yet. It's all part of the act. Because that girl knows she has all the leverage. She knows that even if she dies, she still has the leverage over him. Because big, dangerous, scary looking man, that's part of the attraction. The problem, so this is what, so if a woman is actually going with a responsible guy or a responsible looking dude, if she claims anything that he's doing, people, even the simpiest of simps, people are going to judge you off the physical appearance, especially in America. Especially in America, they're going to judge you off of physical appearance, or they're going to judge you by skin tone, etc. So they're just going to look at it like, huh? So Russell Wilson he could literally be kicking Sierra's face in, but we would never know. We would never know. This is why women tend to avoid guys like that. So like, now let's take it at face value. Say she finds an actual good person. She avoids that good person because she has to reciprocate her being good on her end. She's with the bad boy. She doesn't have to be responsible for anything. She doesn't have to be a good person herself. She could claim innocence. If things go bad, she wins. She has all the leverage in that situation. Right. But this is the stuff that I talked about in 2022 and 2023. Those are old talking points. All right. Wheezy like the extra cushion. Oh, yikes. Yeah, ninjas, they like gorditas. They like gorditas. He said, what is Oh yeah, Panda Man. Yo, Lil Wayne, he stopped caring about his appearance a while back. Like Lil Wayne stopped giving a F ever since, I'll say, like 2010/2011. He's been basically free balling since 2011. even when it comes to his raps. You know what I mean? Some of I remember one time. This is when I was in college. This was during warm-ups for a game at the college I was playing at. Um, it was the first game of the season at home, and full house, right? Packed full house. They had all the warm-up songs going on. Then one Lil Wayne song come on, but it was the dirty version. This was one of the most dirtiest songs I've ever heard in my life. I was like, we playing this in public. It was one of the dirtiest songs I ever heard in my life. This was 2016. Man, I was sitting there in warm-ups. I was dying. Because even like they're like, even the parents, they're just used to hearing the rap songs because they just accepted it by now. Even the suburb parents, they're like whatever when it comes to the rap lyrics. But this one particular Lil Wayne song comes on. It was the dirtiest song I've ever heard in my life. Even the parents were shocked. The parents were like, what? They stopped talking. You usually hear people talking and murmuring, right? You know, during warm-ups, whatever, and it's a loud situation. Everybody just went quiet because of how dirty the song was. They had to change. They didn't let the song finish. They had to change the song. And yo, you know what? I'll say this. One of my favorite Lil Wayne songs of all time. I don't People are not going to be able to guess what it is. I'll give you guys 2 minutes to figure out who's going to figure out what's my favorite Lil Wayne song of all time. It is not even a lyrical song. It's not even like a lyrical song. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. I'll give y'all 2 minutes, and somebody can figure it out because I'm gonna give Ronald Wichita credit. He was the one that found out my two favorite foods. Yeah, I said, yo, can the audience find out what are my two favorite genres of food? And he figured it out. He said, if I'm gonna guess, it's probably Thai food and Jamaican food. I was like, how the hell did you find that out? I was like, yo, there's no way. How'd you find that out? How in the hell did you find that out? I was in there looking like a black youngster when he had when he did that interview with Narduar. I couldn't believe. Yeah, there's a subscriber of this channel, Ronald Wichita. He particularly likes the live streams that I did. He figured it out. He added me. He was like, if I were to guess, it's probably Thai food and Jamaican food. I'm like, how in the hell did you find that out? Because it's, for me, it's Thai food number one and Jamaican food a close second. Jamaican food close second. I was like, I'm like, how the hell did you know? Because I've never said it I've never said it on this channel. I've never said it on any of my live streams. I've never said this in any of my videos. I was like, this. I was like, yo, hold on. Let me bring. What's his name? Black Youngster. The Nardwar. Yeah, that was funny.
How? Hold on, bro.
Yeah, yo, Ronald had me like this, bro. He had me like this, man. Straight up. I was like, how'd you know this? How the hell did you know this, man? Yeah, him, yeah, Ronald, Wichita, Reaper. Yeah, these guys clearly, like, in another lifetime, we were clearly friends. Like, yeah, Reaper Rel. Yeah, he like, these people, I could tell, like if we met, or we must have met at a different time in our past lives, or our ancestors have met, because some of the stuff that I'll see Ronald Wichita say, or he'll give me a message from time to time. I'd be like, this guy clearly, yeah, we on the same page, or like Reaper, since we basically we both, me and Reaper Rel, we follow the same comedian, so our thinking aligns a lot. And those two guys, they're not RP guys, you know. Those are the kind of guys I would actually hang out with. You know what I mean? Let me see. Because some of the stuff they get on me, I'll be like, how'd you know I was thinking that? That's crazy work. No, it was really specific. I was like, how the he got it right. He said, if I was gonna guess, it was Thai food and probably also Jamaican. He said also. He didn't say or. He said also. I was like, damn. I was like, damn. Because really, on any given day, if you give me the choice, I'll pick Jamaican food over Thai food sometimes, but I'll put Thai food number one. Thai food number one, no doubt. But I was like, damn. How the hell you know that? You read your mind. Oh yeah, so the Lil Wayne song that I like though. Let me show you. Wayne. Yo, this song is off the this song right here, man. This song, I don't know why I love this song, man. This is my favorite song. No contest. No contest, my favorite song of Lil Wayne. If you guys get the chance, listen to Lil Wayne, I'm Single. Obviously, I can't play it for copyright purposes. I don't know why I love this song, man. Because okay, I'll say this though. I'll say this. I remember when because I was in middle school during that time, and um, I had I bootlegged the whole I bootlegged the whole album, and I was just listening just from track to track, and I just happened to just be playing the song, right? And I was vibing to. I was like, "Oh, this sounds good." And then I remember repeating the lyrics out loud, and then my dad happened to be overhearing me while I was repeating the lyrics, and he was like, "What kind of song is that?" I think that's why that's my favorite song, because it's just how shocked my dad looked when I was repeating the lyrics. Because I remember, oh yeah, I remember repeating it. I was like, I'm single. I ain't tripping on nothing. I'm sipping on. So my own boy said he got a bad bitch for me. And I'm singing, I was singing that joint. And then my dad happened to overhear. He was like, what? Oh man. I don't know why. I like that song, that Lil Wayne song. And then I'll say I like the Drake's. You know, the Drake song I like is the one that he did with Lil Wayne, which was called HYFR. It's off. I think it's off the Take Care album. Drake, yeah, Drake HYFR. I like that song too. I like that song. Mind you, I don't even mess with Drake like that, but for some reason I like that song. I like that song. All my exes live in Texas like I'm George Strait, or they go to Georgia State where tuition is handled by some random ninja that live in Atlanta. I think that's the part that I like the most, the beginning part of that song. I love the beginning, the beginning part of that song. That's that, yeah, I think that's really what it is. And then the chorus is the chorus by Lil Wayne is catchy. So that's my like the Drake HYFR. That's probably my favorite Drake song. And then my favorite Lil Wayne song is I'm Single. I don't know why, but like I said, I'm a weirdo. Certain songs catch my ear, and then I grow a liking or an attachment to it. Anyways, moving on. Moving on. Let's give you something. Let's give you guys something real quick. Cause people are funny. I don't know if you guys seen the news with Amaranth. Let me show you something. We got Amaranth trending on Twitter right now. Apparently, she went on the Fresh and Fit show and gave one of the producers a hand job in the parking lot. And I guess her husband caught her. So let's take a listen to this. This is some interesting stuff. And he live streamed the husband of Amaranth um live streamed him exposing his own wife, his own OnlyFans wife. So let's watch.
Can we talk about you kissing black men while we're married?
That is not even true. Oh my God.
Oh, we don't want to talk about that.
We can talk about that, sure.
Okay, let's talk about
You had me go on Tinder dates I didn't want to go on, and then you started calling me while we were at the karaoke bar a lot.
Me if you could have an open relationship.
That is no.
Oh, you didn't?
You were wanting an open
No,
relationship.
did you ask that? Okay, maybe.
Now, I'm pretty sure all of this stuff is staged. I'm pretty sure this stuff is staged, but since it is Amaranth and I do like to see her lose in life, I just want to still play it anyways. And I obviously don't feel bad for the husband at all. At all. Because this is probably staged, but it is what it is. Like if you knowingly marry a S worker or a OnlyFans girl or an escort, which is what she is, I mean, you get what you get what you get, bro. Like I wouldn't damn her. I would damn the husband because you knew who she was and you married her. So that's not on her.
Baby, I will sleep with Aaron. Did we say
No,
that?
that is
Never?
not.
You
No,
never asked that?
no, I did not.
Oh, okay. We're gonna lie to your chat now. Okay.
We're
Sure,
literally
sure.
not lying.
And you didn't give him the hand job in the
I
parking
did
lot?
not.
Oh, okay.
Correct. I did
didn't
not do
drive
that.
up on you guys together, you giving him a hand job in the parking lot
Dude,
in Chinatown.
These men can't even find porn that would make us money of such sexual acts that you are claiming right now. Yet you're saying I would do it off stream for no money?
Yes.
You're
Yes.
retarded.
Oh my God! Because porn stars never have sex off fucking.
Oh yeah, and also, you know, because I done heard like some of these, you know, the normies. You'd be like, oh, I know it looks like people in open relationships are happy. No. Even with the open relationships, you still have cheating that happens in open relationships. You still have a lot of drama. You still have a lot of jealousy that happens even with even I'm talking about even older couples that do swinging. You'll still have drama with that. You still got people, you know, because there's still rules to stuff like that, and people will still violate them. They'll still violate it. They'll still violate it. And they have the easiest rules to follow, and they'll still not follow it. You know what I mean? But this is this is how irresponsible people can be, right? Let me see. Educated Pook said, "I'm chilling, but my swag on full attack is my favorite line." He said, "My favorite Drake and Lil Wayne collab is Believe Me." Oh, I remember that song. I remember that song. But I'll say my favorite Drake and Lil Wayne collab is the HYFR song. I don't know why, but it is. And then I like Lil Wayne's verse in Miss Me. It Miss Me. Because I think I know Lil Wayne's verse line for line for that song. That like 20, I'll say, man, 2010. I'll say this, my two favorite years in life. Like my two favorite years in life was the year 2006 and the year 2010, bar none. Two of my most favorite years. And people say, but weren't you in middle school? But people don't understand, like in 2010, I had stacked up so much W's in 2010. I'm talking about personally, like in life. I stacked up so much W's in 2010. So I'm like, the W's that I stacked up was crazy work. People don't even know. So that's why 2010 will always have a special place in my heart. And 2006 was one of my favorite years. Let me see. Yeah, it's been pretty much, it hasn't been better than that in my opinion. I will say 2014 was an eye opener. 2014 was a real wake up call / eye opening year for me. And then 2016, I will say 2017 was like the year of acceptance for me, if that makes sense. 2017, I made a lot of life changing decisions in 2017. So that was the year of acceptance for me. And then I will say this, the year 20, I'll say, because I really haven't had like memorable years where I'm like, oh, this year was crazy good. Nah. Anyways, Pyro said a guy touched her hand and she washed it. I'm talking about the Twitch simps. So Panda Man said, wait, her husband mad because she kissed a ninja? No, well, clearly it was more than a kiss. Clearly it was more than a kiss. She's a cute, he's saying that he walked right up on her, giving Aaron, I don't know who that is. I think that's the light skinned dude. I thought this was Chris, but maybe, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure, I thought the light skinned dude name was Chris, but I could be wrong. But one of the producers, there's the guy that the husband is claiming that he caught her giving, ushkash bagash, like Orlando Brown would say. Like Orlando Brown would say. Ooh, yeah, pop, pop. Oh man. She gave me what was that interview? Y'all don't remember that from Vlad TV?
In the first interview, I mean, she gave me, and then I gave her some. I do, yeah.
Oh man. Also this Orlando's Brown old Instagram account in 2016. Awesome. Just awesome. Just freaking awesome. And I'll say this, I'll say the year 2016, I'll say the first semester of college was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. First semester of college was awesome. It wasn't perfect. It clearly wasn't perfect. 2016, that was an eye opener as well. But I'll say that first semester, particularly, I was away from my parents a lot because I was on campus and I would visit home a little bit, like on weekends, particularly from October. So I'll say from November to December, I would visit home a lot. But yeah, I'll say 2016, the end of 2016 was pretty good. The end of 2016 was pretty good. Yeah, I'll say that. But yeah, it's been an uphill battle for me, in my opinion, since 2014. Like it's been like a real, like for the past 10, 11 years, it's been an uphill battle for me. Let me see. Yep, give 1 inch, you give a mile. Yeah, so for these open relationships and these swinger relationships, there's still a lot of cheating that goes on in those relationships, believe it or not. Believe it or not, that has been my anecdotal experience, but this has also been the experience that I've been seeing from a lot of other people. He said, yeah, he said, what's up, my guy? Yeah, I remember that. Orlando was crazy. Yeah, Orlando was his old Instagram account from 2016. I think slash 2017, but I'll say from 2016. That was the funniest Instagram account on God's earth. Easily. Orlando Brown had me crying, bro. The stuff he was saying on there, I said, like, I was watching those videos. I'm like, this ninja needs his medicine, yo. This dude needs his medicine. But something in me is like, I think he's just trolling most times. I don't even think he really needs medicine. I think he's just trolling because he reminds me of one of my relatives, but I'm going to leave that alone. Let's watch an extension from Amaranth's husband, scolding Amaranth for for doing what she did with one of the Fresh and Fit producers.
The other one,
You're
worst
not
case,
even getting.
one, I'm dead. The other one, worst case, I
You're
just have my
lost.
money.
You're hopeless.
I don't understand how anyone would say getting shot in the face.
Saying.
I know, but you're saying I'm more scared of getting swatted. Duh! Between having a baby and getting swatted, I am more scared of being swatted. Everyone probably is. Jesus Christ, you live in La La Land. Say it again for everyone. That he is more scared of getting glocked in the face than a girl baby trap.
Yes.
Yeah, because
You are scared of the police, who we employ as security guards
if she's
also.
actually a good partner, unlike you, and can have kids, unlike you, then I would find that.
Damn. Oh yeah, I forgot. Amaranth can't have kids no more. I remember when the announcement happened when they found out like she had like something wrong with her ovaries or whatever. But it was like the ultimate poetic justice because she's made most of her following, thirst trapping simps just for the sum of it all where she can't even have kids. It was like, I remember I saw it on Undead Chronic's channel and Undead Chronic was just this ninja was jubilant. This ninja was jubilant at the news at Amaranth's announcement where they found out she had like some kind of ovarian cancer or some ovarian complications, whatever. Yep. But I already knew. Oh, I know when he said that you can't even have kids. I know that hurted her. That hurted her. And yes, hurted is a word. Hurted is a word on this channel, according to Kodak Black and Lamar Jackson. It's a Florida thing. It's a Florida thing. According to Florida ninjas, hurted is a word, and hurted is a word on this channel. Yes.
Can have kids, unlike you, then I would find that mildly enjoyable. Whereas getting shot in the face, I would not like that.
Great.
It's
I'm
funny
glad.
because
Go pursue that
You
then.
have been all over my shit about, I don't want to have kids now. Okay. The other one,
You're
worst
not
case,
even getting.
one,
I already knew that shot. Ooh, I knew that hurted her. I knew that hurted her. I knew that hurted her. Yes, that hurted her. Panda Man says she felt that in her brown marrow. Yikes. Yep, that hurted her. That definitely hurted her. But anyways, but then I saw a couple of more videos of her crying and stuff. So, same old, same old. Same old, same old. Same old, same old. Also, what was I also gonna show? What was I gonna show? There was another video I was gonna show. I don't know why I'm blanking. I should have these videos open. Oh, no, not that one, not that one. Oh, let me show you this though. In the meantime, while I'm brainstorming, have you guys seen this Julia Fox clip? Let's talk about this for a little bit. Let's have a dialogue with this. Let's have a dialogue with this because this is very important. This is very important. I know I'm pretty sure y'all have seen this clip. but I just wanted to show it. You know what I mean? This Julia Fox clip where basically Julia Fox, she's like a uber feminist, right? So they had her on a lie detector test and they asked her, "Do you hate men?" So so this is perfect. I love this video right here.
Would you say you hate men?
I hate the patriarchy. There's a lot of really good men.
Judd?
Answer the question.
Do I hate men? No.
That's a lie.
Would you say you hate men?
So I don't know, maybe sometime soon, but the full interview, the Julia Fox Vanity Fair interview, I think I'm gonna do a live stream on it. Vanity Fair. I got to do a live stream on it. Yeah. So I gotta do a live stream on the Julia Fox lie detector test and the questions they asked her, because it's 14 minutes long. The video is 14 minutes long, but I gotta do a live stream specifically on that because I found the interview very interesting. And just to let you know, when you hear a feminist talk about, oh, it's about equality, all feminists would fail that lie detector test. And notice when she asks, "Do you hate men?" she immediately deflects. Immediately.
I hate the patriarchy.
So she goes, "I hate the patriarchy." And you're like, come on. Answer the question. Because she knows she can't answer it in an honest way. Knowing she's hooked up to the lie detector test and she's just still gonna lie.
There's a lot of really good men.
Judd?
Answer the question.
And shout out to him for making sure she didn't sidestep the question. Shout out to Broski right here.
Do I hate men? No.
That's a lie.
And just to let you know, don't let none of these feminists fool you out here. Not even the ones that be like, oh no, these other feminists are a little bit insane. I'm looking for equality. Feminists are not looking for equality. First, women in general are not looking for equality. That's been the biggest load of hogwash, you know. That's just been one of the biggest loads of hogwash that I've heard in a while, you know. But it is what it is. Somebody said, I don't think she hates men. She looks like one herself. Oh, man. But like, you talk about feminists like Julia Fox and all these people. Even when you look at Julia Fox's page, let me show you something. When you look at her Instagram page, it's just weird. Just weird. I don't even think I could show her page really like that. But it's like, even when you look at the photos that she takes of herself, like, just weird. Just very, very, very strange. Very strange, you know? Very strange. But yeah, I'm going to do a full interview review for that one. I'm definitely going to do a full review for that one. Very, 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 very soon. Okay. Now let me bring up this clip. Obviously, this is going to be one of the videos. What we call it? The video of the year or something? I don't know what it is. What should I call the video of the year? I don't know what to call it. But I did something on it right here.
Bigger girl is hard, and it's even.
So right here, this is going to be a fat woman complaining about how dating is a struggle for her, right? And she's going to take zero accountability. So I dropped the video earlier today. You guys can watch it, but let's talk about it right now while we can. While we can, let's talk about it. Should I? Let me open this in another tab though, just in case. So we can look at the comments later on. And let's do it right here before we get back to the Lil Wayne story. So let's do this video.
Dating as a bigger girl is hard, and it's even harder to explain to people because you really don't get it unless you've lived it. I felt this way my whole life, especially when it comes to talking about dating with like friends and family. It can be like difficult to explain.
She's been fat her whole life, apparently. Bruh.
Difficult to explain, and it's also something like you don't want to explain at the same time. It can feel like uncomfortable or embarrassing. It's that feeling whenever you're catching up with your
But it's really straightforward. You have your options are not going to be that of a skinny white girl. You know what I mean? So Panda Man said she got a cute face for a girl with the fats. So let me bring up her page. What would you rate her? Let me see. Well, let's bring up her Instagram page. So this is her page, right? I'm not saying she doesn't have a cute face, but mind you, remember she's 32 years old. I forgot to mention. So she's about to hit that. She's technically hitting the wall now. So it's kind of too late for her to lose the weight because she is in her early 30s now. Right? So even though, like, you see her friend right here to the left, even though she's hit the wall, she still has more options than her. Simply because she's not as fat as she is, right? Now, I'll say this, she'd actually be in decent shape in terms, like, even at the age of 32, if she had lost the weight, she would be in great shape. She would be a solid 6 on the market. She'd be a solid 6. A solid 6 out of 10. You have, people that are strong 6s, you have people that are weak 6s, whatever. But she would definitely be over a 5 if she lost the weight. Because a lot of the times it's not necessarily about being ugly in the face. It's just having a presentable face. I think, in my opinion, when it comes to, facial structure and all this stuff, it's just about having a presentable face. It's not necessarily about being the prettiest or being the handsomest. It's just about having a presentable face. And she has a presentable face. So if she lost the weight, she'd be in great shape. She'd be even in her early 30s where she's at right now, right? Let's bring up her personal page. What she got? So this is her personal page I'm about to bring up. But yeah, but but like women like her, they just refuse to lose the weight. They refuse to put in the work. They refuse to play sports. Her parents didn't put her in sports, and of course her friends are going to just encourage that. They're going to encourage the behavior. But the reason why I'm going to pick on her is because when she describes her problem, you can tell what kind of guy she's actually aiming for, and you're going to be like, you stupid. Like, the guy that you want, you're definitely going to have to lose the weight. You know what I mean? But we're going to leave that alone. Pyro said parents need to start telling their sons being nice to a woman will get them little to no results because they are creating a lot of dudes who can't get women. Well, yeah, because men will tell their daughters men are predators and we ain't nothing, and brothers will tell their sisters, oh, men are only after one thing. Like, men will throw their own gender under the bus to protect their daughters. I'm talking about beforehand, in hopes of okay, she doesn't hopefully she doesn't go out with the bad guy. Hopefully she doesn't get ran through in college if I just tell her up front. And really that's actually a mistake, but I've already explained why I've said that's a mistake. And but when it comes to mothers and their sons, moms won't tell their sons the truth about women until it's too late. Right? Like it's rare that you're gonna have like somebody like, you know, Jaden Daniels' mom, where she's just telling where she's just telling the public up front, look, these hoes out here are predators. You know, and it is so funny, the women that have such a problem with Jaden Daniels' mom and how she acts. It's I find it hilarious, but it just shows you what kind of time most women are on. I remember because people were mad at Jaden Daniels' mom for sitting in between him and Juju Watkins. And I said I agreed with her doing that. And yeah, you can say she's doing too much, but what people don't understand, women, I don't care if she's a female sports star or whatever they want to claim, or she's quote unquote making her own money. Women are a bill. Let me repeat that again. Women are a bill. Remember that old saying, if you ain't got no money, you ain't gonna have no honey? you if you ain't gonna have no, what did that preacher say? If you got no ends, you ain't gonna have no friends. Those old black Southern sayings, they always ring true, bro. Oh, it don't get no realer than that. You got no money, you ain't got you got no money, you ain't gonna have no honey. You got no ends, you ain't gonna have no friends. That's one of the best black Southern sayings I've ever heard in my life. It's not, you can't even say, what can you even say? It's when those older folks would say stuff like that, what are you gonna say? They lying? Those are straight facts. Those are just the cold, harsh reality of, particularly as a man. As a man, that's just the cold, hard truth. No money, no honey, no ends, no friends. That's brilliant, bro. That's brilliant. So this is real spiel. So I don't care if it's so-called Juju Watkins. Juju Watkins is a bill. Now, we saw what happened to Juju Watkins. She hurt her knee, unfortunately. Now, imagine if Jaden Daniels or Mama Daniels took the normie's advice. Oh no, Jaden Daniels gotta get with Juju Watkins to produce some kids and be a beautiful. Now, she would have been an extra bill on Jaden Daniels' plate, because who knows if she even wants to return back to basketball after her ACL injury. People like, I know times are different and ACLs don't ruin careers like they used to, but an ACL injury is still an ACL injury. Who's to know how she will respond from that injury? Now he would have been having just somebody on the bill that's not contributing anything. You know, and it's not, I'm not trying to rain on Juju Watkins' parade, but I'm just saying, you know, all these the dudes, or I remember because there was one dude even on this channel who would say, nah, Mama Daniels got to let her go with Juju Watkins. I was like, no. He hasn't even gotten the big contract yet. Mama Daniels is trying to make sure he gets to that first big contract first before he does anything stupid. And we already know what I mean when we say doing something stupid. That's getting one of these 304s knocked up, or one of these girls that's supposedly his equal. Remember, I showed you the comment section of the Jaden Daniels Juju Watkins thing, and it was women talking about Juju Watkins has more pull than Jaden Daniels. Remember, I showed you guys that. So this is an equal partnership in women's mind is different than what men consider an equal partnership. So this is why we tell you when you have a woman, it's a bill. It's a bill. It's a bill. Just understand that when you got a woman, you're gonna have to break bread. You're gonna have to break bread. Shout out to Pyro, the Flame King, with the $5 super chat. You already know what time it is. I gotta, you know what soundbite I gotta also download? Money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, money, yeah, yeah. But so, well, there's not a whole lot of WWE fans. Let me not even go there. But anyways, Pyro says, brother, all these women are teaching. Let me see. Brother, all these women are teaching their some about feminism. They're sons. He said, brother, all these women are teaching their sons about feminism. There's going to be toxic, nice guys. We're already dealing with that right now. These guys have like these liberal channels and they're doing debates and stuff. They look like straight soy boys. And that's a word that I don't use that much, right? Because I tend to be sympathetic because we've all simped. We've all have fallen short and simped for average 304s, average women, ugly bitches, dyke bitches. We've all simped. So we've all have fallen short. So I tend not to even use that term soy boy, or even when it comes to calling people super simps, even though I say it, but sometimes I feel bad for saying it because I know I've been there myself. But yeah, we're gonna have a generation of basically either the guy's gonna be uber conservative or he's gonna be an ultimate simp. These new dudes coming up, they're all either gonna be super liberal or super simpish, right? So, like, remember the guy that called in on Pearl's show? I felt so bad for that dude because I'm like, he's gonna learn the hard way. He was like a super simp, and he was definitely a soy boy, but I'm like, this guy's gonna learn his lesson the hard way. And by the time he learns it, he might off himself. You know what I mean? So guys like that, I be feeling so bad for, bro. I be feeling so bad for guys like that. But anyways, because he's gonna learn the hard way. Because even when I started watching this kind of content, I was still simping. I was still out there simping. It didn't really take me until when I turned the age of, I'll say 20 years old. When I was 20 years old, that's when I finally was like, I had to just stop and be like, okay, I'm doing something. Like, I have this information, but let me chill for a second. Let me chill for a second, right? Because I felt like I wasn't really practicing what I was preaching or practicing what I was teaching in 2018. But it wasn't until 2019 where I can say, no more simping. No more simping, right? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, the guy from Pearl. He's gonna be a black pillar. He's gonna turn black pill. That's what's gonna happen to him, unfortunately. But anyways, back to this obese lady here.
Time can feel like uncomfortable or embarrassing. It's that feeling whenever you're catching up with your friends and they're sharing stories about recent dates they've been on, but you haven't been on any because you only get asked to go to a guy's house.
And yes, we're in an age where fat girls do get approached more than even the prettier girls. But what ends up happening is those girls, they only call them at night. They only text them at night, right? So, and since women like that have very low self-esteem, they'll take the invitation. And Chads are banging out girls like this, believe it or not, but obviously not in public. In the video, I'm gonna bring up, if you watch the video where I review this girl, I bring up, Hannah Baker, right? So you have girls like Hannah Baker from the series 13 Reasons Why. She represents the chubby, voluptuous white girl with a nice ass, right? That's what she's supposed to kind of represent, the kind of chubby white girl that, but with a curvaceous body, where all the athletes want to smash, but really they don't want nothing to do with it. They're just curious on if, like, how it would how she would feel. Right? They're just curious on how she would feel, but nothing else. So a woman like that, or a girl like that, they're always going to be in turmoil when it comes to dating, because girls like that, they only go Chad hunting, and they don't ever go for a normal guy or a guy that's also plus size, right? Per se, another fat guy. So a woman like that will always be in turmoil. And Hannah Baker from 13 Reasons Why could have made things a lot easier for herself had she just stuck and gave Clay Jensen a chance. But Clay Jensen is is symbolic of the normal average dude that most women want nothing to do with, even if her sexual market value is below mid, right? So Hannah Baker ended up going out. She went Chad hunting. She went even, oh yeah, she even went, was it Tyrone hunting at one point for the one black guy that she went to the dinner date with. The guy that was running for student council. She tried a black dude. She tried being a lesbian. She tried a borderline gay dude. She tried everything but a normal dude, that cared about her, which was Clay. Everybody else but a normal dude. So this is the stuff. So when you see particularly women like this, when they're talking about dating struggles, that's a clear indicator. Particularly when you're talking about a fat white girl, or specifically a fat white girl that grew up in the suburbs, and she's talking about dating struggles, that is indicative of she's been ran through by Chads and jocks, but she's never been claimed. You know what I mean? So it's a crazy dilemma that she's going through in her head. Yep, she went Chang hunting too. Yep, Hannah Baker went Chang hunting. Everything but a normal dude. Everything but a normal dude. She went Chang hunting as well. Yep. She spent that whole summer getting smashed by Chang, and then once the school year started, he was like, can we just let's just keep that between us. This was just a summertime thing. And she lost her virginity to that dude too. But this is what women like Hannah Baker do. And there's always that one girl in your school that's not necessarily pretty or attractive or somebody that the jocks would claim, but they all want to smash because she has a nice ass, or she's voluptuous, she has a nice quote unquote thick body, or she has a nice body but her face is kind of meh. Everybody in high school had that one girl, you know what I mean? So, or a couple of girls like that. But a girl like that would be fine if she just dated on her level. But women like this, especially who you're seeing now, this is a girl, she's been ran through by the Chads. I'm talking about ran through. Because there really shouldn't be no dating struggles. Because even with her, this is how I knew she's a Chad hunter. Because this girl right here, she could easily get a black dude. Because you already know ninjas, like, unfortunately, they be thinking girls like this are pogs and stuff. And, oh, she built right. Pushing for the cushion. And if she was dating a black dude or wanted to date a black dude, she'd be bragging about how black dudes be liking her, right? But you don't hear that. So you can tell what she's aiming for Chad. She's aiming for Chad or Brad. She wants Chad or Brad. Either will do. But but those guys, particularly the Chads or the Brads, you know, when you talk about, you know, the financial dudes, the guys in tech or in finance, whatever, you can't be that big. You know what I mean? You can't be that big. The Pog build. Yeah, the Pog build. You know. But that's how you can tell she wants a Chad or a Brad. Because she'd be bragging about, oh, I got this dude of another race to be with me. She'd be bragging about it. She could find a dude of another race. She could. Not even just black dudes. Like, she could find a Mexican dude of another race. They like tortas, and she's big herself. So she could find a dude. She can go out with an Asian dude. She can go out with an Indian dude, right? Or, you know. But that's how you can tell she's looking for Chad or Brad. She should have somebody, because white women in general are the most chosen. She should have somebody. But she's talking about dating struggles. That means she's been ran through by Chad and Brad. But specifically Chad.
It's that feeling whenever you go out with your friends and guys talk to them and you just kind of stand by the side and sip on your drink. It's that feeling when you're meeting up with someone from a dating app and you're worried that they don't realize that you are bigger, even though you have full body photos on your profile. It's that feeling in high school whenever everyone is asked to the homecoming or the prom and you're the only one without a date. It's that feeling.
So you see, this is where I knew. I was like, oh, she'd been ran through. Because people are going to see, oh, she went without a date at homecoming. People are going to take that as, damn, was she outcasted like that? No. She, that's how you know she was with Chad and them. That's how you know she was being ran through with Chad and all this. But she was getting boots being knocked, because she should have, like, come on. You could have found somebody for homecoming. You could have found somebody. You could have found somebody. I done seen the most toe up bitches. I knew women with, like, I knew girls that got like 3-5 kids with 10 different dudes and they still have a boyfriend. Stop. You could have found somebody. But you'll have girls like this. Their sights are aimed way too high. Their sights are aimed way too high. This is why I always say the body positivity movement is a load of BS. And you could tell by the partners that they select. You see these so-called plus size models, when they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, their boyfriend, their boyfriend is never plus size. In fact, a lot of their boyfriends be Chads or like damn near bodybuilders, or at worst skinny, at worst super skinny, but never plus size, you know.
Whenever you like a guy and you see what his ex-girlfriend looks like and all the other girls he follows on Instagram, and you know you look nothing like them. It's that feeling when you have to decipher, are they really attracted to me or is it like a fetish? Which I'm pretty sure I got that recently. So,
and that's something most girls have to go through. But if you're a fat girl, you should already know what time it is. you should already know. First of all, most fat white women, I'll say this, most fat women that I know personally, they kind of already know where their bread is buttered. So they already know, okay, if I go with this kind of guy, he likes me. If I set my aims up high, maybe I can find somebody, but I'm going to have to accept him cheating, right? So I'll say a lot of the fat women I know they kind of already know where their bread is buttered, but I'll say this for the delusion, you know, it is what it is. That's why I try to tell dudes, don't feel bad for chicks like this. She has options. She just doesn't want to accept where she is. And the thing is, she could improve her dating options by losing the weight. They don't want to do it.
It's the feeling when the conversation turns sexual in 0.2 seconds because guys think we'll just settle for any sort of attention. It's whenever you're out at a bar with your friends and you guys are all interested in the same guy and you feel the need to back down because you feel like you don't even have a chance to begin with.
Now, mind you, they will talk about how the 80-20 rule is cap and, oh, this is just incel talk. And she just admitted that she's been in a situation where she's at a bar and all of the girls are interested in one guy. Yo. And by the way, it's not really an 80-20 rule. It's because, you know, the 80-20 rule has been popularized because of you know, these mainstream shows are starting to talk about it. But really, when they're saying 80% of women are attracted to 20% of the men, that's actually wrong. It's really 100% of the women, damn near all of them, are attracted, are aiming their sights at the top 10% men. And any dude outside of the 10%, they feel like they're settling. So that's really what it is. It's not even really an 80-20 rule. That's just the 80-20 rule doesn't even exist anymore. It's damn near 95-5. And then basically, if you're not that guy, in her mind, she's settling. Educated Pookie says she got to lose weight for most chads, though, or settle for the overweight or working class brads on her level. Yeah, she could just get a dude that works at UPS, right? FedEx, United States Postal Service, honest, good working guys. If you are just nice to somebody like that, you feed them because clearly you know how to feed yourself. But if she knew how to cook, like if she knew how to cook, which I'm pretty sure she does know how to cook. All she got to do is bring that to a guy like that, you know, or, you know, a manager at Staples, one of these kind of guys, and she'll be fine. She'll be even taken care of. Right? A general manager at AMC, right? One of these kind of guys, and she'll be fine. But, you know, in her mind, she thinks she's above that. But the actuality is a guy of that level would actually be above her. But when a girl like that takes on Chad one time, anything else she gets is gonna be settling, you know, in her mind. Yeah, Educated Pookie said, I notice a lot of gym dudes be with big girls. Yep, those are facts. Educated Pookie said, I'm not working out for years to be with a big chick. That's so backwards. But yeah, a lot of gym dudes, they be with big girls. They be with fat girls. I'm talking about in public, you know. Yeah, it's really 95-5 right now. And technically, all women are aiming for those top guys. And then somewhere along the line, you'll have some that are smart enough to realize I can't get that. Or it'll be a situation where you'll have a really pretty girl with a guy that's like a 3 or a 4. And what you'll know is that girl that was a 9 or an 8, she's already experienced that Chad or the rich guy or the drug dealer, and she's already been ran through young enough to realize, let me chill and cash in on my prettiness now while I can, right? But the mid girls, they don't even know where they are. He said 80/20 was back in 2015. Yeah, manager at UPS or FedEx would give her the world. Yeah, facts. Yeah, or T-Mobile store manager, a Verizon wireless, Verizon, a manager at a Verizon store. But when I say stuff like this, or I'll say like a plumber or electrician, like you'll say stuff like this, and women will just you'll say it, and women will just be like, ugh. But I'll look at the women that are saying ugh, and I'm like, what if a guy looked at you and said, ugh? I made that mistake and did that one time. Oh yeah, me and my boy, we made that mistake one time. Where somebody said, like, I remember somebody had said, hey, what if you and so went out? And I said, no, ew. But it was this fat chick I used to work with. But I accidentally said ill out loud, and people was laughing. I said, oh shit, I made a mistake. And she did not forgive. I'm talking about she never forgave me for that. She never forgave me. I'm talking about like because people were making fun of me for saying ill out loud. They're like, Chris, why you do that? I was like, I don't know. I'm like, but it was this rotund bitch, and she was the same person that was talking about, I want a guy to pick me up during sex. She was saying all this stuff out loud. So I had no idea that she, but that's and even like even if she did, like say if she even made her feelings known about me, I still would have said no. But I would have done it, I would have been more polite about it. I'd have been way more polite about it. But I didn't know. But I said ill out loud, and she got very upset about that. Anyways, keep this playing.
It's that feeling whenever you're out with your group of friends and you're approached by a group of guys and you know that you're not the reason the guys approached. It's the guys who are actually attracted to you and do like you, but would never take you in public and never date you. And yeah, that is what it feels like dating as a bigger girl. All right, I love you guys.
But I don't even know why she's mad, because she put herself in that situation. And then now she's at 30. Well, yeah, she's 32, single, no kids. I mean, she should have because she's not gonna lose the weight. She's not gonna lose the weight. And I always say this: any single girl, a girl that is single with no clear job, and she has a pet, is a massive red flag. A massive red flag, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Let's go to Lil Wayne. Let's go to Lil Wayne. Let's go to Weezy F Baby, and the F is for the front door, right? Let's go to Weezy F Baby. Okay. So right now, Lil Wayne is in a situation, because I want to expand on this. You know what? I'm going to open up the panel. I'm going to open up the panel for this. Okay. Let me put the link in the description, in the chat. Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to put the link up. If I guess, copy. Here we go. So I'm gonna put the link in there, and we're gonna talk about this, because there's another side to this. Somebody had brought a point up in Coach Greg Adams' stream about this situation, and we need to talk about this. Like we need to talk about this. Okay. So let me pin the StreamYard link in the chat. Let me pin it if I can, because there's another part to this story that we might have to we're gonna have to touch on it, and we're gonna have to talk about it because somebody brought it up in Coach Greg Adams' stream, and I wanna bring it up. So we got Pyro up here.
Yep. Yeah, what's going on, Chris?
Hey man, long time no see, man. My bad, bro.
Yeah, I've been busy so far myself, man. Since I was like the other person I work with left, so the shift kind of doubles.
Yeah. Say, well, I have some interesting stuff going on. I might send one. Let me not say too much on here, but the music stuff is going as planned so far.
Oh,
That's all
that's
I
good.
can say. That's all I can say for now. But anyways, I'm gonna just leave it at that. But anyways, so in this story here, Lil Wayne was going out with Denise Bidot. That's her name. They've been going out for about 3 to 4 years. So on Mother's Day, she makes a video saying that Lil Wayne kicked her out of the house on Mother's Day. And mind you, she has a daughter already. So that's not Lil Wayne's daughter.
Yeah.
So she came in the relationship with the daughter. So I want you to watch this video though. I want you to watch this video and I want your reaction towards it because she's also gonna allege to say that she was quote unquote abused, so that's that's very interesting. But anyways, let me play the video and I'm gonna get your response right afterwards.
Wayne literally kicked me and my daughter out on Mother's Day today.
Whoa, hold on for a second. So this is the daughter, and we're gonna get back to her in a second.
Out on Mother's Day today, and I am just recovering from surgery. I am 5 weeks out from a full mommy makeover. I can't even lift boxes. What this man has is assistance and people coming to help kick us out today. Like, and broke up with me on Mother's Day through text. And like, what? And her birthday's next weekend. And I.
Of course. Wow.
Yeah, she said, and my birthday, you hear the daughter in the background, and my birthday is next week. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah, I know exactly why he kicked her out. You don't have to ask.
Yeah, save that for right after the video.
I
Save
leave
that right
to New York this week for all the Sports Illustrated press. Like, when I tell you that I am absolutely unsure on how to even process my emotions, like, if y'all got lawyer recommendations, please send them because, so yeah, I know he has 2 girls being flown in today and who knows how many plethora of girls he has. I've been nothing but supportive to this man, loved him till the end of the fucking world, but Wayne literally kicked me.
Okay, so Pyro, you had said something before I had cut you off because I think I knew where you were going with it. Why do you think she got kicked out? Her and her daughter.
Because she was abusing the days, and she's trying to get every single, like, she's trying to take advantage of each situation so far, and she's asking for like more things. On top of that, she's not just asking for the days. Like, she's spending this guy's money like daily, constantly. Like, you don't even have to ask.
But that's what I was about to say. That's the conventional wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Like conventional wisdom is what you said. Obviously, she's spending all of his money. Now, also what would be conventional wisdom is probably Lil Wayne probably caught her cheating way back, and he wanted to save something. He wanted to save. What's it? A revenge is a dish best served cold. He probably did that. That's conventional wisdom, right?
Yeah.
But Pyro, I saw CGA's stream earlier this today, and because I didn't see the whole thing, I just saw the snippet when they covered this story, and somebody in the chat said, wait, how old is the stepdaughter again? So somebody revealed in the chat that she's 16. And somebody sent a super chat to CGA. I don't know if I can, because I don't remember what minute mark it is.
Really?
But they said that the stepdaughter probably tried to put a move on Lil Wayne, and he kicked him out after that.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
I'm not saying that's the main part, but that's possible. That probably happened. We can't dismiss that. Now obviously what we said is obviously the reason why he kicked her out, but we can't underestimate a possibility of that happening, because that stuff does happen. I'm talking about both ways, where you'll have a stepfather preying on the daughter, or the stepdaughter preying on the father. This stuff happens, and looking at the attitude of that girl, her look, right? Like, as when I first saw her, I was like, right?
Yeah.
So she's her mom is making a video like this, and then she's giving her the old straggle stank face. So the first thing I noticed when I saw her, right?
Kicked me and my daughter.
First thing I'm like, oh, so she done procreated with a ninja before. All right,
Yeah.
so that's already
Red flag.
Now that means she's been a single mammy for a long time, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Lord knows what already kind of mentality she has, because on top of that, not only does she has the toxic mentality of her mother, she's been around a whole bunch of dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So you already, oh, my bad, go.
Especially ninjas.
Yes. So she don't even really know, she probably don't even know who her real father is. So she's been around a whole bunch of boyfriends, probably a whole bunch of other rappers that came through her mom's house, and you don't know what she's seeing. You don't know, one of the dudes from her past put a move on her, so you don't know what kind of time she's on.
Yeah.
So that's so when we already just looking at her, I already gained this. I was like, oh shit. Just off the half second of looking at her, I'm like, oh shit.
Chris, all I can say is, like, I think she's like, I think she like, he wasn't her first experience so far. If she's willing to do that with him, like, he's not the first experience so far.
Yeah, but I'll say this, obviously, like I said, this is all allegedly, right? So I obviously I could be wrong about this, but when somebody had brought that up in the super chat in CGA stream, I was like, you know what? Obviously that wouldn't have been the main reason, but I remember Corey Holcomb talked about this, where he said when he was younger and he was up in this woman's house, he said that one time where he had a girlfriend, right, that was obviously an older woman, that he was in his 30s. The girl was in his 30s, but she had a daughter that was like 15 or 16. And he says he remembers he was sitting on the couch with the daughter, and he said that the daughter tried to put a move on him, and he told the mom, and the mom got mad at Corey. So this is actually, because this is something that happens, that because if a man says, yo, your daughter tried to, what's going to happen is the mom is going to be mad at you, or think you're the pervert for even noticing, right?
Yeah.
So this is actually, I really started to think this is actually probably quite common. You know what I mean? Or even even because at the end of the day, even if the dad's good nature, the stepdad's good nature, or the daughter's also good nature. At the end of the day, that's not his kid, and things happen. You know what I mean? And you can ask lawyers, you can ask divorce lawyers, right? When it comes to, brothers and sisters that are not related, right? These things happen, right? And this
Yeah.
is something that we can't, dismiss. Now, you had brought up something. You said that this obviously, if she is on that type of time, this is obviously not going to be her first time. So, off rip, while I'm looking at her, she reminds me of like the average straggle that I that I be that I be seeing, talking loud at Panera Bread while everybody's, quiet, and then
Yeah.
she's the one talking loud on her phone, or she's the one with the troublemaker type dudes. So she does strike me as one of them Lil 304s that be causing trouble. So, and especially when I heard her comment, and next week is my birthday. I'm like, bruh, are you serious? So I'm like, oh man, we already know what kind of. So when I'm looking at her, that means even if say if she didn't even put no move on Lil Wayne, she was probably up in Lil Wayne's house begging, cussing, smoking up in his house, and that's not even his daughter,
Yeah.
right? So at the end of the day, she was probably acting a brat, and then the mom is acting a brat. Lil Wayne was like, look, y'all got to go. Y'all got to go. And notice in the video, she didn't mention nothing that she did wrong. She's just like, he just kicked me out. I'm like, why did he kick you?
Yeah, but you have noticed that, like I think he's just finished with everything that stops right up.
Especially if it's like, if they're
Yeah,
just kick, if I'm talking about you come to the house, particularly if a man kicks a woman out, which
yeah,
is rare. If he,
you must be on some BS.
yeah, like my conventional wisdom is probably he probably had already caught her cheating a couple times, and he
Yeah,
was like, you know what? Before I get your replacement, I'm gonna just, I'll have my arrangement set up, and then once the time is right, you and your ungrateful little brat that you kept, right? I'm gonna kick both of y'all out, right? So that's the conventional wisdom. But I remember because when somebody had brought up she was 16, right? And what
yeah,
people don't and what people don't understand, 16 is actually the age of consent in most states, but that's an uncomfortable conversation that people don't want. But that's why I always say there's no way, like if I'm a stepfather, or because since Lil Wayne's older, he's most likely, if he is going to have a woman move in, he's most likely gonna be taking on a woman that already has a kid, right? Just due to his age. Or if he's
yeah.
gonna meet, if he's gonna meet women around his age, the women around his age are gonna have a kid or two, right?
Yeah.
But if
Mhm.
you're in that situation, there's no way I'm taking on a woman that has a daughter. There's no way.
That's too much problem for me.
Yeah. That's just a complete accident waiting to happen. I'm not sorry, not accident. That's a complete dumpster fire waiting to
Yeah.
happen, especially if she starts coming of age.
Yes.
Now, the what's crazy is when we say this, we're labeled the predators and we're
Yeah.
labeled the stuff, but how are we the predators when we're saying we would never take on a situation like that?
Yeah.
Yet we know this stuff is happening. So wouldn't the predators be shouldn't you be having an extra eye on the guys that like want to be a stepfather? Knowing the stats that we know about abuse. I'm talking about all types of abuse, physical, sexual, all types of abuse when it comes to stepfathers and kids that don't belong to them.
Yeah.
We know all these stats, but yet we're labeled a bad guy. I I don't get
They,
it, but
they just always need a scapegoat.
Yeah. Is- but this is something we I think it would be irresponsible of us not to bring up that part of the equation. I think it would be irresponsible of us to not address it. But it was funny because on the super chat when CJ had said it, he's like, "I'm going to reserve my comments." because she's 16. But look, man, I'm not afraid to say it, but hopefully I'm just gonna start saying it. Look, we have lil hoes out here.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people are afraid to say that we got lil hoes out here. I'm
Been
talking
going
about
on forever.
all ages. And then I'm not saying they're not being taken advantage of because they are. But there's lil hoes out here. They're lil hoes. There's you got like you can ask a random person, okay, do you believe a boy that's 13 years old, a boy, do you think that he can be a criminal? Do you think he could be a murderer? Right? And they would all say yes. Even if it comes to sex, you'd be like, do you think he could be guilty of a grape crime, even if the girl is older than him? They'll say yes.
Yeah.
Now, you flip it. Do you think a 14-year-old girl could be a hoe? And mind you, it could just that 14-year-old girl could just be a hoe for the boys in her age. But just me saying, can a 14-year-old girl be a hoe? They're gonna look at me like I'm crazy for just saying that.
But you know
it's true.
Yeah.
So it's like just saying, I'm like, you do know there's 13-year-old girls that are whores out here. They're that I'm not saying that they're sleeping with older men, but
yeah,
there are you can literally ask any like high school slut or whatever, and literally be like, oh yeah, when I was in middle school, I was doing this, I was doing that, they'll tell you, but for some reason we're not allowed to acknowledge, you know, these uncomfortable truths when it comes to particularly young women and how they weaponize their sexuality at a young age, right? And people think they're not developed enough to do something like that, and I beg to differ. I beg to
yeah.
differ. You know,
I always think to that. like I always tell them, come on, bro. These girls be doing stuff that like if their fathers found out, like they would never leave the house ever again.
like I remember, I showed a video of a 21-year-old Latina girl, and she was talking about how she's gonna trick the next dude that she's with because she's saying that she's a homebody at 21, and most dudes would call her a catch, but she put in her caption, but the actuality is I've been in these streets doing adult activities when I was like 12, 13 years old. I don't know if you remember, I showed the video of that,
Yeah.
but
I remember that video.
so I'm talking about there's countless videos on Instagram of that. Countless, right? And
Yeah.
so then once the sex conversation comes up, people don't understand like men and women, we're both lit, we're on a whole different timeline. So by the time like the average broad is like 22 or 23, especially a girl that like to go out a lot, she's probably been ran through. I'm talking about the life that she's lived compared to her male counterpart. It's night and day.
Yeah.
The parties she's been allowed to be at, the freak offs, right? The access to celebrities, the access to entertainers, the access to men of position, even when they were underage, the access that they still have to these kind of men. It's a whole night and day difference. This is why I always say if you're gonna I say if you're gonna marry a girl or date a woman seriously in America over the age of 22, you're probably gonna have to hire a private investigator, especially nowadays.
Yeah, just do some background checks all the way.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do like I'm talking about serious, because especially with the advent of OnlyFans.
And the social media exposes everything. Women just make everything super easy now.
Yeah. I saw something on Twitter earlier today where it was a guy. It was basically a guy getting his red pill moment where he was talking about how his girlfriend has a private Instagram account and she only has 200 followers, and he said that he opened up her DMs and Manu Ginobili, the NBA player, was in it, and she has a private Instagram account and she only has 200 followers. So the access to and by the way, Manu Ginobili, he's of like a very famous, he's an NBA Hall of Famer. He's an NBA Hall of Famer. One of the great, like he's like one of the top basically one of the top 50 greatest NBA players of all times. He's very famous in the States, right? He's well known for basically he beat Team USA by himself in 2004.
Real?
Yes. He was playing for, he's Argentinian. So he was so yeah, he beat Team USA in 2004 in the Olympics. Is one of the biggest upsets, of all time. And he's an NBA Hall of Famer. He played for the Spurs, became sixth man of the year, but he's one of the greatest NBA players of all time. But he's very famous. But yeah, he one of the most historical he's like one of the icons in NBA history in his girl's DM. And they live in buttfuck Iowa, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And you have an NBA Hall of Famer legend in the DMs of a girl who has a private account and she only has 200 followers. She didn't initiate it. He's in her DMs. So this is just where, so the access, even if your girl is not looking for it, it's right there. It's right there for her if she wants. This is why people talk about the attitude of women today, how women they'll just treat you like an option, because they could literally be 500 followers only, 1,000 followers only. They're gonna have dudes in their DMs. I'm talking about, especially remember back then when blue checks was a thing.
Yeah.
All these people with blue checks in their DMs.
Yeah.
And she not even asking for the DM. She's just getting it, So this is the stuff that we got to talk about, particularly when it comes to young men and young women, the access to sex, the access to money, etc., and stuff like that. This is why, when somebody had brought up, Denise Godot's daughter in this situation, I think it's fair game. I think it is fair game only because men and women are different. We operate in a different timeline. So a woman, a girl, let me not say woman, a girl at 16, right? Sexually, she's already ahead of most, like I will say 90% of the men in her grade. I think that's a fair percent. I'll say 80% to be fair, right? The average 16-year-old girl is already ahead sexually of 80% of the boys in her grade, right? So her a 16-year-old girl's equivalent would be like the average, believe it or not, it would be like the average like 32-year-old dude. He's probably had sex a couple times, finally getting his body count up there. But the average, I'll say, especially the average teenager now, their body count is high, like higher than like women's, like Gen X women. Like you'll have like a Gen X woman that's like 50 years old or like 52 years old, and their body count is like in the high 70s. But then you'll have like girls now that are like 19. I'm talking about they're entering the age of 19, and they're coming in with like, I'm talking about at 19 with a 20 body count at least. So this is it's just night and day when it comes to sexual experience, when it comes to men and women. Even we talk about boys and girls, right? Let me see this comment right here. Shinobi One, shout out to Shinobi One. He says hoeing is in their DNA. Made by the streets or made for the streets. 21-year-old yeah. He says 21-year-old girls have higher body counts than 60-year-olds. Facts. That's what I was talking about. Like the average 21-year-old girl now, her body count is like, yeah, it's not even close. It's not even close. There's like, we have like 70-year-old grandmas with like lower body counts than like the average Gen Z girl, so it's just something you got to put out there, because there's a lot of times, when it comes to particularly women, particularly young women in sex, they just act like it just doesn't happen. Even though we see it happen, we just act like it just doesn't happen, right? But this is very, how do I say it? Prevalent, not relevant, but like prevalent. This is something that's very common, but it doesn't get talked about. Particularly, definitely doesn't get talked about with men, because men don't want to be seen as creeps. But that's why this stuff exists. But I already looking at that girl, I already know she was a problem. I will say, not only Denise was part of the problem, but that daughter was part of the problem. Lil Wayne probably came to the house one day. Place probably was smoked up, smelled like weed. He's like, "This is not my weed." What? She probably found her laid up with some dude in his house. She did. So he probably not only caught Denise cheating, but probably also caught her daughter bringing random dudes to his property. So
And
this
then
is a walking biohazard,
Yeah, and then she walk up to him and say, "Let's do it."
No, man. That was, but you never know, because when because people also underestimate how much drugs Gen Z women are addicted to, and Gen Alpha. But I'll say particularly, I'll say the women my age, they're drug addicts. I'm not even gonna hold you. They drug addicts. They'll do anything for weed or Percocet or Xanax or cocaine. Any of these things, they're straight. The girls of today, they're pure drug addicts. Pure drug addicts.
Wow.
The mental, the head medication that they're on,
Yeah,
psychiatric, it's
and the drinking.
not even close.
They're also drunks.
Say that
They're
again.
I think they're also what do they call the word? The word like when you're addicted to rum, the liquor.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, yeah, and they're huge alcoholics. I forgot to say that. Yeah, so one the biggest alcoholics I've seen easily, it's really no difference between the men and the women when it comes to the alcoholism, but I've seen in droves just a lot of women just being just inebriated with something, and always inebriated. This is why I don't get this thing where they keep talking about grape culture this and grape culture that, and then particularly on college campus, and then when you see the stat where they say 90% of the time alcohol is involved, but at these parties they act like all these broads is just they all getting Bill Cosby or something, and that they're not taking the drinks themselves. Like they're willingly taking these drinks. I mean, what can we do? You can't save it from you can't save it from happening, or whatever what they want to happen. There's literally nothing you can do. There's nothing you could do. They're willingly taking the drinks. They're willingly taking the drugs. They're willingly taking they're willingly sleeping with the guys to get the quote unquote free drugs. I mean, I don't know what they're talking about. Grape culture. I haven't. If there is one, I don't see it. I don't see it. I see a culture of people doing whatever they need, doing whatever they want.
Yeah.
Using mental health as a crutch to take more drugs and have sex with more people that they want to. That's what I'm seeing, but
what they call I'm funding myself.
yeah, they're always on a journey. they're always on a journey. They always got to go somewhere. They always got to travel. They're always on some spiritual journey, like they're the fucking Avatar or something. I'm on my spirit walk. How many spiritual journeys you got to be on that? But that doesn't involve sleeping with somebody. But the way they describe it, you think these bitches is Guru Patik from Avatar: The Last Airbender, but they're doing none of the sorts. So it's the language that they use is just it's BS. But that, like I said, that's on them. Let's see some of the comments for this. I didn't take a look at the comments for this particular video. But I'm pretty sure it's all going to be the same. I'm pretty sure it's all going to be the same. Somebody said, funny we hear about abuse when the relationship is over.
He's a narcissist.
Yeah. Because she was talking about, oh yeah, he put his what she said in the video. She said he put his hands on me and he put his hands on other women. I'm like, so you knew this and you stayed with and you still stayed with him and you didn't say anything during that time. So it was cool until he kicked you out. Come on. And in 2023, I'm not buying that a 5'5" black man is regularly putting his hands on bitches in the year 2025.
Yeah,
where black men are losing everything they worked for. I'm talking about their life's work over a woman just pointing their finger at them, just for oh yeah, he's regularly just putting his hands on bitches. Only person that was as reckless like that was Diddy, but nobody like Diddy was getting protected by higher powers until recently. So that's besides the point. Most black men are not operating like that, especially entertainers. They're not putting their hands on women not on the regular. The way she described it, he's like, oh yeah, he put his hands on other women. I'm like, are you kidding me? Who?
Yeah, well, no, that's the same thing. Who? I wonder if he was beating the crap out of Nikki.
She got no. She ain't naming no names. Like, come on, man, stop. So shout out to
Imagine if it was Nikki. Like nobody would just not believe.
So right here it says, oh, if a man is physically assaulting you and then he kicks you out, that means you're now safe. That's but like I said, that's why nobody's buying the story of abuse, because if you're in a so-called abusive relationship, if he if you're physically not around him no more, he kicks you out. Shouldn't you be happy? But it's the opposite. That's why like nobody's even buying this. Like even the lamestream media is not buying it. But it just goes to show you, you know, what's the first thing that a woman's gonna do if she doesn't get her way, or if she feels like she has no place to go? She's gonna say you abused her, whether it be physically or sexually. That's her to go card. You know, that's her you know, when her back's against the wall, that's the card that she's gonna pull up. So what in the sorry, I got a weird text right now. But they just somebody says she's kind of R word for trying to be with Lil Wayne in the first place. So he said retarded. I gotta be careful with that word too, because apparently when I use that word, my videos get
demonetized.
Yeah, it gets limited monetization. So I gotta be careful with that word. Because I remember one time I said it one time, messed up my whole live video. Somebody said, "So what? Go get a job. What are we supposed to do with this information?" Oh man, yeah, I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, so somebody said it right here. Somebody said, "Guarantee she got caught cheating, and he waited until today to do this. Good for him. Now the flailing, grasping for straw stories will come out. Stand strong, Lil Wayne. Hoes gone home." Hoes gone home. Facts.
Chris, I could just imagine. He said, "Happy Mother's Days. Pack your bags."
She thought she was going to get a big ass gift, and she just saw all of her bags packed on Mother's Day. Yeah, I think she cheated, and he knew, and
he was saving.
Yeah, he was saving it for that, to make it as symbolic, you know, because Lil Wayne is very like the stuff that like people underestimate how like he's a very intelligent person. I think Lil Wayne kind of has the Flavor Flav thing going on where people are just gonna look at him and just think, oh, he's just one of these. But people don't know, like Lil Wayne used to actually like write scripts, you know, for ESPN. Like he's written written you know, lines, because people don't understand like the sports personalities. These people, they don't come up with their own lines. They have writers in the back doing stuff for them. So Lil Wayne has been a part of those rooms. He's written for people for these sportscasters. He's written for other artists. He's a very like he's been doing that since he was 13, like 12 years old. You know what I mean? So Lil Wayne is a very cerebral type guy. Even some of the stuff he does it in riddles, and it goes over a lot of people's heads. Like I remember one time he made a tweet. And this is because he made a tweet one time. He said, "I got so much money. I'm about to get married right now." And real ones knew what he was saying. He said, "I got so much money that I'm finna let me just lose half of this money right now. Let me just get married so I can just get half of this money off of me right now." So most real ninjas knew what he was saying that, but it was like during a podcast. Do you know the podcast with Adam Sosnick, the Soscast? Have you heard of that one? The podcast with the Jewish dude, the Adam Sosnick. He usually does a show with the PBE podcast. I don't know if you know that, but it was a show with two broads and Rollo Tomasi, and he read out the Lil Wayne tweet of, "Man, I got so much money right now. I'm about to get married real quick." And Rollo just started laughing immediately, and Adam Sosnick asked the two broads. Now, I think one of the broads had a PhD, and one of the other broads was also educated, but she was like in her late 20s, looking for a husband, whatever. So Adam Sosnick asked, "What do you think Lil Wayne meant by this tweet?" And they were just like, "Well, he's Lil Wayne, and he's They didn't have an answer. And Rolo was like, "Bruh, he's saying that he's trying to get married real quick. He's gonna lose half of his stuff. He got too much money off him. He's trying to offload this money. So let me get married real quick, right?" But I think Lil Wayne has that thing. I don't even think it was a man and a woman thing. I think Lil Wayne has that effect where people just think he's just stupid or just a typical dumb, ninja rapper because of his appearance. They look at the tattoos on his face. They look at the dreads. They look at his the clothes, his voice. His voice sounds crazy. Like he's almost inaudible sometimes. Even though you can hear what he's saying, it's just like, damn, how does your voice it's gone? Because it's just his voice is just now just a deep thing. Because he's so used to drinking on that scissor, drinking on that lean and codeine and all this stuff. He's taking all these drugs, but he's actually a very smart and cerebral guy. So to do something like this, he clearly planned this out. He definitely planned this out, and this was something. Her response is probably something he expected too. So he probably already has contingencies in place to kind of like protect himself from any claims that come against him. So shout out to Wheezy F Baby, for this. Somebody said, "What does she model? Dirty panties?" Oh, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's messed up. Oh man, that's crazy work. Oh man. Oh man, let me stop. That's crazy work. Somebody said, "Is she seriously looking for a lawyer because he dumped her? What's the lawyer gonna do? Force him to take her back?" Yeah, that's she
he wants a plug.
Yeah. And I'll say this, maybe Shannon Sharp could have saved himself from a grape allegation, right? Because I think you can come back from believe it or not, I think you can come back from a physical abuse allegation, because that could be proven wrong or right. And it's just up to, I think the public will be more prone to forgive, say, a former athlete if he accident, like, say if something did happen physically, I think they'll be willing to forgive it. But when you're talking about the grape word, right, the R word, that's, even if it's an allegation, that's hard to come back from. That's really hard to come back from. So maybe Shannon Sharp could have saved himself from this allegation if he just decided to be like, look, let me just put her out in public. Let me make it official with her. Let me have her be my girlfriend, even though she's an OnlyFans model. That could have literally saved him millions of dollars, because now we're now knowing about this bitch for the first time. And even though she's an OnlyFans model, she mentions the R word. We don't know her. All of this stuff is new. So the way she's coming at it is almost like, oh, you just met her. No. Because he was messing with her for a long time. Shannon Sharp he could have saved himself the headache by making her the official girlfriend, even though she's an OnlyFans model, even though she's a hooker, technically. But he could have saved himself millions of dollars. This is why also guys will have, or entertainers will have, a stand-in girlfriend, or what they call a model wife. So
a placeholder.
after he's done messing with her, even though he's got to pay her when she's done, or if they divorce or they break up, they can never pull that R word stuff on him because everybody done seen them out in public. So it just, if you bring up the R word, people are not going to buy it. The judge is definitely not going to buy it. You know, even the most, you know, say like if you have like a racist judge, but they'll be like, weren't y'all together? So it don't matter. So this is why, you know, Shannon Sharp probably could have saved it by, first of all, he could have saved it by not going out with her in the first place, because when he offered the NDA and she didn't sign it, he should have cut ties then and there. So that's already his fault. But he should have just might as well just made her the girlfriend, even though she's an OnlyFans model. But you know, he thought he could just deal with her on the low. But you know, that's not how this works. She can be the biggest slut of all time, but if you're dealing with her for years and you have a personal life and you even promise her a little bit, she thinks, if you even give her an inkling or suspicion that she might get the number one slot and she never gets it, she's gonna destroy you later on in life, because she's gonna be mad that you didn't consider her good enough to be the number one woman. You know, even though she's the biggest slut in the world, she's still gonna feel a type of way about that. You know,
It would just not to just play the role.
Oh shoot, my AJ said he's in the rating room on the StreamYard. I don't see you. AJ said he was here, but oh, my bad. I didn't scroll down. My bad. I was just like, where is he at? I see you. My bad. AJ, man, what's happening, man? I think his mic is his mic is off right now. Or
what's good, AJ?
Lonely. I'm so lonely.
Man,
No,
you seen the video though, right?
Yeah, dude. Well, here's the thing. There's a couple of things that are going on here. It's actually becoming easier for guys to come back from this type of stuff, because a lot. Okay, you know who Alex Pereira is, the former UFC champion, the Brazilian guy.
Oh yeah, he got caught with a case.
Yeah, but people knew it was Cap from the jump.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear about that? Like it was a thing for like a second, and then everyone knew it was Cap. I think that people are done with. I mean, that in general, this isn't gonna fly. But the Shannon Sharp thing, like, I don't know why how he reacted to it made him seem
desperate,
guilty. Like, he shouldn't have resigned. He shouldn't have said any of that. Maybe it's because he's too old school. Maybe he tries to have this squeaky clean image. He should have just said, look, I'm kind of a freak. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But him resigning made him look guilty, you know what I'm saying, of something, even though honestly he didn't do anything. But the thing that irks me the most about these guys, third world 304s. If you're gonna bang 304s, go to another country. They can't sue you there. You know what I'm saying? Look, you cannot tell me that a friggin' a Romanian 304 isn't the same as some 19-year-old 304 here. The difference is there's no jurisdiction in Romania. They can't get you caught. I don't understand. Jump on your private jet. You know what I'm saying? Go to Bulgaria or Romania or freaking Thailand or whatever. Shoot up the club and come back. This is Shannon Sharp's fault. I don't blame. And then Lil Wayne. I mean, dude, you said, why do people think he's dumb? I mean, dude, he's got the whole Flavor Flav thing going on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? People, they just look at him. I mean, if I saw him, I'd be like, yeah. I mean, who's going to do solve quadratic equations? It ain't happening. But Lil Wayne, though, I don't understand what this chick thinks she's gonna do to him, because it's not like he has some squeaky clean image and people are just gonna not buy his music. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this is a criminal trial. Yeah, like this doesn't make any sense. All this is just hearsay and speculation, and Lil Wayne's gonna be just fine.
You know, and even with the Shannon Sharp situation, let's talk about that, because technically, because I was listening to Dr. Umar Johnson on that situation, and he brought up a great point where she should have, if she wanted the money, she should have waited until Shannon Sharp actually signed the $100 million deal.
Yeah. Yep.
Now she's
Yeah.
not, she's not even gonna get any money for
she's
that.
Stupid. She's stupid.
So,
and that's why I think that she thought, because remember, guys, the one thing that these chicks try to do is by using situationship words or the partner word, as they want to act like they have control over relationships. They don't. We do. It doesn't matter what. Guys, this is why the majority of women are in relationships and the majority of men aren't. Because if you'll talk to a chick who's just a jump off, and she'll swear up and down that she was the dude's girlfriend. Unless we call you our girlfriend, you're not our girlfriend. So I guarantee she thought that she was Lil Wayne's girlfriend or whatever. This chick, I'm sorry, Shannon Sharp. And she found out she wasn't. And now it's just spite. It's spitefulness. She wants to burn the whole house down.
yeah. That's
and
not,
this
that's
chick
right.
Here too. This chick here. She thought she was Lil Wayne's homegirl. I mean, number one girl, whatever. Thought that she was going to tie him down. And instead of enjoying the life that he's giving her, that she could never afford on her own. Think about the hubris. She could never afford. She couldn't even sniff the life that he has on her own. Then has the nerve to think that somehow she's better than him, or that she's owed something. Come on, man.
Worse, he's already a baby mama at best.
TW3, third world 304s. Because they're gonna bang 304s anyways.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, did you guys ever see The Watchmen? The movie?
No, I've never seen The Watchmen. Actually, no. I know what you're talking about. Never mind. I've seen The Watchmen.
Do you remember where Dr. Manhattan and the comedian? Well, the war is over now. What? And she's like, Mr. Such and Such, we need to talk. I am pregnant, right? And he's like, you're just a jump off. So she like hits him in the face with a bottle, and he's just pow, and he just leaves. He's like, dude, because it's in Vietnam.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, third world 304s. It's a solution. What are they going to do? Extradite you to Vietnam for freaking banging these 304s? Extradite you to Romania? No.
But we
understand it, man.
We gotta be careful about that though too, because there's a dude right now who's making it his mission, because I guess there's a lot of American particularly there's a lot of half white, half Thailand babies, or half white, half Filipino babies, and some half black, half Filipino. And he's making it his mission to find the actual American fathers of these abandoned kids or whatever. So we gotta. I was like, first of all, why would you even make that as a man your mission to do something?
Because he's mad that there's dudes out there smashing all the chicks he wants to smash.
Yeah,
he's friggin' Scar from The Lion King. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's mad. Yeah. This is a civil trial. The whole Shannon Sharp thing. That's the thing that people don't understand. There's no criminal case here, but people act like he's been charged as if that's like he did something illegal. What are you talking about? But these 304s, they're so stupid that they don't understand. Hey, Chris, I was trying to talk to you. Hey, how do you feel about the whole Big Mike and Barack divorce rumors?
I already saw them coming.
Yeah.
Say again?
No, I said I
But
already
no,
saw that. Like this woman just
Yeah.
talks so bad about her husband. Like this
Yeah,
woman.
Yep. And she acts like she's gonna land on her feet and Barack's gonna miss her. Are you see? You know how many chicks want to throw their draws at Barack Obama as beta as he is? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do
but
you
I
and
think,
guy,
but I
say-
think with Barry O, I think he's alternative lifestyle. But even still, then Michelle has been way out of pocket.
Yeah,
Way out of pocket because there's plenty of Caucasian women dating their that are married to
Yeah.
their husbands and their husband is sleeping with men and they're
Yeah.
still sticking with him. Look at even Hillary at the Jimmy Carter's funeral. He's the only one there without his.
It's crazy.
This is
And here's the thing.
That's
Even
just
if he
pretty.
needs a political marriage, dude, he's gonna Bill Belichick it. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna get a 24-year-old, 25-year-old Becky out there, and all these B-dubs are gonna be seething with rage. And another thing, Chris Pyro, did you see the chick? She's 55. She was saying she was invisible. She was like the voice. Hold on, voice. She went viral because she was saying she's 55. And single in LA, actress. She's an actress. She's a light-skinned chick. And she was saying how she is invisible now. And you guys know who she is. She has like a squeaky voice. She's a light-skinned chick. She was like a was she the Rugrats actress?
Are you talking about Michelle A, I think? Or is that somebody else? Because you said squeaky voice.
Yeah, let me see. But she came out and she was like, here, I'll drop a link to Instagram, Chris, if you want to pull it up quick, because it's a short clip, you know what I'm saying? But here, let me get this for you, and you can I just feel like, oh my god, I'm old and now like I'm invisible. Here it is.
You can put it in the private chat.
Private chat. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
AJ, do you know AJ and Chris? Do you know like who is more pathetic than a guy who can't get laid? I mean, like a woman who wastes out her entire like lifespan.
Yeah,
she has everything in her hand, and she just squandering.
Yeah, a woman who wants to have kids and waited too long is the most pathetic thing on earth. So yeah. And click on this, and she's like the third person because this is a compilation. So,
oh, I see.
Here you go.
Let me see here.
Is there anyone else out there in their 40s like me who feels kind of invisible? Like I'm not as cute as I was in my 20s and 30s. I'm definitely not as fit as I was in my 20s and 30s.
Oh.
I don't have as much hair as I used to have. It's literally falling off like the top of my head.
You do become a little more invisible the older you get as a woman, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I did a video. I covered her last week on my live stream, but I covered her very shortly because it was so pathetic. I was like,
what was she on? She was on like Living Single. What was like Black?
A different world, if I'm not mistaken.
A different world. Was that it?
Or I think it was a Living Single or a different world. Probably both, but I don't know.
She also said
yes, Cree Summer. That's her. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
She also said she picked terrible mates throughout her lifetime.
Yeah.
Like she was at age 56 where she's talking about I'm finally I'm going to approach. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Black does crack, guys. Black does crack. God damn, she looks I guess that's a light-skinned chick living in LA, baking in the sun. You know what I'm saying? But she looks terrible now. But have you seen this compilation? Yeah, it keeps going. So
No, I haven't seen them.
I don't get asked out on a lot of dates. I never get asked out on dates. I don't know if it's being 55 in Los Angeles or if it's just a strange town.
What is the biggest confidence killer for women over 50? Men over
Oh my
50.
God, she looks crazy.
She looks like
man.
She looks like the Crypt Keeper.
Oh man, this wow. That one's looking bad.
They never look at you anymore.
When I was 55, I felt like I was starting to fade.
Starting
I felt
to?
like I was starting to go invisible. I felt dismissed. I felt ignored. I felt like I was washed up.
When I was 15, I started modeling, and it was a very hard thing to walk away from. Then around the age of 45, I started noticing that the way I was perceived was slightly different than what I had become used to. And then I would put photos of myself in bikinis. All of a sudden, I started getting the influx of, "Are you a little desperate there, Grandma? How about you cover up and spare us the look of your poor aging body?" I was sort of getting relinquished to the invisible women category.
Is there anyone else out there in their 40s like me?
Pyro, will you leaving comments on our Instagram again? Yo, can you imagine that chick in a bikini?
That shit is a 2-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
I don't want to see that, dude. Yeah, man. What are you talking about?
Man, that video reminds me of do you watch Better Bachelor? Do you guys watch Better Bachelor?
Yeah.
Man, oh man, I don't remember the video, but he covered one of these reporters where one of these British or one of these Australian female reporters that was aging out of the dating market, where she made it a whole, big deal. I found the biggest discovery, guys. I'm starting to approach the young guys that I like, even though she doesn't realize she's actually aging out. So she has to approach she has to approach the guys. And then Joker basically described the cycle. It was perfect the way he described it. He said, now you're gonna have to approach the Chads that you like. And then it's gonna come to a point where you're gonna get to a point where even if you approach those guys, they're not gonna want anything to do with you. And then you're gonna talk about,
unless she's a 2 a.m. special. But guys, old chicks dating young guys, all you are is a gym sock to them. That's all they are. You know what I'm saying? They're just a receptacle. You know what I'm saying? That's it. They actually think that these guys want relationships. Nah, man, you're just a jump off or a 2 a.m. special. You guys know the bars get out. You're a little buzzed. You know what I'm saying? You got the number saved in your phone. Girl, what you doing? I'm busy. Bitch, no, you ain't. I'm coming over. Oh, man. So, but yeah, man, all these guys getting got, man. I don't even know why they would even deal with American chicks at this point.
Yeah. Waste of time.
I don't know.
Stay on the tour bus, play PlayStation, man.
I think we underestimate how much men love women here. Like because eventually a lot of guys, I'll say a lot of guys, come to that realization, like, damn, these 304 is tripping. Let me just chill. Let me chill for a little bit. But I think most guys in the States, I think like women could literally be like, yo, the next guy that I have sex with, I'm going to murder him.
Yeah.
They can literally say that, and even guys will still come up with an excuse to be like, okay, maybe those are just those.
Maybe she'll swing the knife and miss. You know what I'm saying? I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, guys. Shannon Sharp grew up in a time though where like 304s knew how to keep their mouths shut. So he got with this 19-year-old thinking she was one of them. And guys, once again, I've been to South America. You know what I'm saying? I've been to Europe. I've been to places where, guys, you can just smash. You can smash. Guys, if you were even as a regular smegular dude making $60K a year, guys, what are you even gonna deal with American chicks for? Save up, take about 2 trips a year. You know what I'm saying? Go to Colombia. You know what I'm saying? And just smash, guys. Chris, Pyra, have you ever been to Colombia or Brazil?
Never.
Dude, they're dimes everywhere. At McDonald's, all the girls working there are all dimes. The coffee shops, the friggin' fruit stands, they're all dimes. Even the old chicks are dimes. It's like it's so jarring because one like Pyro, you've been to the States, right?
Yeah.
You know how you get off the plane and you know that you're in the States because all the chicks are all friggin' rhinoceroses. You know what I'm saying? They're all hippopotamuses. You know what I'm saying? It's so jarring when you get off the plane and you're in like Sao Paulo or you're in Rio and you're like, God damn, even the GSA workers are all fine. Women don't leave the house looking like trash in Brazil. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like, and even that there are average looking chicks in Brazil, but they're in shape. So like their average chicks are like a Brazil 5 is like an American 7. You know what I'm saying? This is like going to like LA or Vegas where the majority of the chicks make a lot of money based on their looks. Like Miami. You know what I'm saying? You look around downtown, there's dimes everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it is. Regular chicks just getting up and going to work every day in Colombia are fine. So when a lot of American guys go, they're kind of shocked. Like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. And let's just say us three go to Rio and we're chilling at a cafe, you know, after a night out, drinking friggin' coffee. 4 or 5 chicks will hear our accents and be like, and come up and holler at us. And they're like, it happened to me. I'm like, wait, whoa, hold up. What is this? And they're like, oh, how are you doing? You are from America. What are you going to do tonight? And you're like, wait, they're spitting game at you. It's like, this is great. Man, I probably got some kids running around in Brazil. You know what I'm saying? But that's why the passport bros thing, once guys get over like being, you know, the fear of going to a new place, because the only passport bros who get got are guys that are stupid. A lot of white guys, a lot of simps. But if you go there and you treat it like, look, you cannot go to Brazil and be in the favela and expect it to be safe because you wouldn't go to St. Louis and be in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So what are you going to go to these parts of Brazil or parts of Colombia where there's gangbangers or whatever who will send chicks in to get you robbed? You'd be like, I don't know what happened, man. I thought you liked me. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man. But all right, guys, I'm gonna dip, man. But yeah, Chris, thanks for the lives. Thanks for having me up, man. You know, guys. There's another story that I was gonna talk to you about. Oh, Chris, Pyra, how do you guys feel about that stupid statue up in Manhattan?
It's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen so far. If it was
Chris, you don't feel inspired as a black man. You don't feel like it. Wade in the water. Yeah, what a joke. What a joke, crazy. Man. What a joke.
If I was a black, like I'm pretty sure any black woman with sense would feel like embarrassed by this by this. Even the biggest feminists, there's no way they could. But
yeah, in the news story, they had that friggin' soft in the shoe black guy. I'm a plus size black man, and please, dude, why is it every black guy that the woke media puts in charge is always LDHTV?
Yeah, always.
It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. So, but all right, you guys, have a dip. Have a good one, guys.
All right, man. Peace out, bro. But when AJ brought up that point about the the gay black men that they put on TV, though, that's really done on purpose. So
propaganda.
When you look at the gay people by population, they're like gay black people is like we're actually in the third place. First place is Hispanics, second is Asians, and third is black. In terms of who has the most gays, but
I thought it was white.
I think black is actually last place.
Yeah, it is. White is just completely number one.
I would have sworn they said Hispanics first, but I don't know. But
I
maybe
don't
I'm.
know. I know
But
Canada.
but the point is, I was surprised when I saw black men at like third or fourth place. I was like, huh? Because but the way that they portrayed in the media, you would have thought that we'd probably been in first place. The way they have it on media, but you know they pick they purposely pick, like they go out of their way to make sure they pick obviously the most ignorant black man they can find, or they pick the gay one of the gayest
Yeah.
black men they can find, or a man that has been compromised, you know, by a man sexually at one point in or another time in their career span. So they do this on purpose, you know. So it's very, you know, it is what it is. I don't even complain about that stuff anymore, you know, because it's too obvious, and anybody with two eyes should see that they're doing this on purpose, you know.
Even I think was it Anton Daniels. Even he saw it. Like they always want to put these people on TV.
Oh man. Oh yeah, shout out to Anton. He be I don't know why people do this. They'll be having these panels and he'll put like these broads on the panel and they don't be talking about nothing. Like, oh my god. Well, but
I think it was
good
Fresh
content.
Fresh was up there also.
Was he?
I think it was Fresh. One of them was on it. Yeah, the Indian one.
Oh yeah. Oh, you mean Myron? Yeah, Myron was up there. Yeah, he was. Yeah, Myron was. Yeah. And by the way, you know, people are such. I'll say this: people are such cowards. This is why I'm gonna say people are such cowards, because they will say that we're being blatant and we're disrespectful to black women and stuff. But when I saw Myron go up there, they had nothing to say to Myron, and Myron was the most blatantly disrespectful.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He was the most blatant, the stuff that he was saying. But the black women on there had nothing to say to him. But it'll be like
they were laughing on top of it too. I saw
and then the one of the black dudes on the panel, he's like, I would say the same thing, but you guys would argue me down. Why are you not doing the same thing with Myron? But at the end of the day, because he has clout, and then second of all, you know, when they actually come across a real crash out, they don't want to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to do nothing. You know, people are such cowards. You know what I mean. I was so not disappointed in Myron, but I was like, I thought they was gonna bring some smoke for Myron. You know what I mean? At least the white bitches had the nerve to look offended and stuff. You know, when he would go on these other panels, but you know. But it'll be like a black dude that will just be like, you know what? I think maybe you guys shouldn't be so mean. And then they just get mad. They start yelling at him, cursing him out. You say what? Like, remember Clubhouse? It'll be like one black dude say one thing, and then they'll just completely run him off the chat. But here you have Myron, who's I'm talking about real crash out type dude, and they got nothing to say. Nothing. I was shocked. I was like, wow. it's like wow. And let me bring before I leave. And I know there's not going to be a lot of white people that like what I have to say next here. Okay. When I see this is the stuff that gets on my nerves when I go on Instagram. So what I stopped doing is, you know, when you see like the white woman black man couple on Instagram, and you already know what those comments are gonna look like.
Yeah.
I've made it my thing where I don't look at those comments no more. Right. So because it's always the same thing. You're gonna be a single mom. Oh, you're ruining your genetics and stuff like that. But the stuff that gets me tight, where I always see the same thing, where I'll see, oh my God, you're gonna be a single mom and stuff like that, in criminal statistics and stuff like that. This is what I'm gonna say for because there's a lot of I don't know. How do I say it? There's a lot of people that don't notice. But the actual Pookies and Tyrones that are crash outs, that are like the black people that are actually very dangerous to society, usually when those same white dudes that are commenting about criminal statistics and stuff like that, when they actually come across those crash out ninjas, they be quiet than church mouse. They don't be doing nothing. I'm talking about those guys will be I'm talking about disturbing the peace. They won't say nothing. The only time they call the police on ninjas when it's a regular ninja just minding his business, just doing regular stuff. And it's basically that's the only time they get brave enough to talk to you, or they pull up to your car, they try to see what you're doing. That's the only time a white person like that will call the cops. When it comes to the real crash out ninjas, they don't be doing nothing. Like I'm saying, like I'm talking about they only attack the average black, exactly, the average black man that's literally just running or jogging or not doing much. Those are the ones that they think they can get. Those are the ones that they get. And people can't say that I'm wrong about this because I am a living testament to this. When I was younger, I was a crash out. I was a crash out. And like I said, I went to predominantly white schools when I was a kid, right? So we talk about elementary. Middle school, I went to a more multicultural type school. And then high school, predominantly white. College, predominantly white, right? All the soccer spots I did, predominantly white. Music, predominantly white, et cetera, right? I'm telling you, the most racism I felt was not when I was a crash out. I'm talking about it's not even close. I'm talking about it's not even close. I'm talking about the racism I felt in 1 year, just minding my business, being respectful, not looking for any trouble, which I'm talking about basically high school on. That's where I got the most slick, people talking slick comments, people publicly trying to humiliate me, people like making racist jokes about me in public or saying it to my face. Now, when I was on crash out mode, nothing, bro. No, I'm talking about when I was a real, like, an actual menace to people's kids. Shit, right? The only people that had something to say were their moms and stuff, but they couldn't really do anything about me during that time. But I just know, especially, I'll say this, especially when I was younger and playing soccer, because I was a real crash out type dude. Hold on, let me show you. Let me see if I can give an example real quick. Let me give you guys an example. This is guy from Texas baseball. This is black dude that plays baseball for Texas. He plays football, but he also plays baseball as well. They called him he was tweaking. He was tweaking while he was about to hit. I gotta show him. Texas baseball player mad. I know that's a very vague description, but hold on. You'll see what I'm saying real quick. You'll see what I'm saying. Let me see. Because he went viral. I what's it? But it was this particular black player. He was tweaking. He was tweaking. I don't know what he got hit by a pitch earlier, and then he was just tweaking. He was just tweaking. He was mad talking ish. He completely lost his cool. That's how I was when I was younger playing soccer. And like I said, the Caucasian dudes that I was playing, they wanted no smoke. I'm talking about they wanted zero smoke with me. I'm talking about during that time. Even I wasn't even one of the biggest players. When we talk about fifth grade, sixth grade, dude, they wanted no smoke. Because once they finally approach a real crash out ninja, like somebody that will actually commit a crime, right?
Yeah.
No.
They
They will not do anything. It's probably gonna be one or two people that will try, and it will be like a very futile attempt. But the crash out dude will give the dude more credit than than the public. They'd be like, "Wow, you're the only person that actually finna approach me on this," and the rest of the and the rest of the public is just like, "Damn, why'd you approach him?" Literally, this is what will happen. I've seen this. I've lived this. You know what I mean? But especially anybody that knew how I was, elementary school years, middle school years, it's a complete contrast to how I was in, high school and college. And I'm telling you guys, the crash out ninjas, like the actual criminals that we need to worry about, it ends up basically only other, black people that end up getting hurt more from the crash out ninjas than the actual Caucasian folks. But anytime they start talking about, always be talking about crime statistics in these comments, and they don't even have to deal with these ninjas. We do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the way they bring it up, I'm like, bro, we got to deal with these people, not you. You just bringing it up because you seeing and I don't even know why they be tripping over. It'll be an average white bitch.
Yeah.
It'll be like an average. I'm talking about completely plain average white bitch with a ninja. And then they talking about crime statistics in the comments, and you gonna be a single mom and all this stuff. I'm like, bro, like
the 13% added again.
all this. I'm like, bro, like I'm like, because the person they're doing it to is like it's a regular black dude. This is not a Pookie. This is not a Tyrone. This is just a regular dude, just living his life with his average white. And the white bitch in the photo is really nothing to brag about, but for some reason it's like it dominates the whole comment section. So I wanted to speak my piece on that because the actuality of it, when it comes to the real crash out Pookies and the real ninjas, guys like that, they want no parts. They want I'm talking about zero parts of it. So all that stuff about, typing in, he's gonna be a single mom and you're ruining your genetics and putting it, crime statistics and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, y'all don't even got to deal with people like that. We do, and then at the end of the day, I look at it like this. So if she becomes a single mom for dealing with him, so you don't see me complaining about like if a black bitch like TK Kirkland, there was a video of TK Kirkland laughing at a black bitch because she got put on child support because from the white husband that she had, and her ex-husband put her on child support, and she thought she was going to get sympathy from TK Kirkland, but Kirkland started laughing at her. He said, "That's even better." Right? But that's basically our reaction if, something like, say if white dude divorces a black woman, we'll just be like, okay, right? Or like I said, like so at the end of the day, if a black man makes a white woman a single mom, so why do you care? Why do you care so much that she becomes a single mom? She wasn't gonna give you no
chances,
no punani in the first place. So I'm like, right, but what I've noticed is they don't be on Pookie's page talking that ish. They be on like regular, like just regular dudes page, talking crazy, talking about their kids. Like I remember even one. I think I remember one Twitter user. It was a black man, Asian woman couple, and I think yeah, it was a picture of a black man and an Asian woman couple with their baby, and this page on Twitter, I think his name is Garbage Human, if I'm not mistaken. And he's purposely spread a fake story that he abandoned the woman and the kid. And the wife literally had to be like, yo, this is a fake story. Like we just made a post together today. This is a fake story. I'm like, why would you purposely put a fake story out there about a black man abandoning an Asian bitch? Like, and you're a white dude. This is not an Asian dude. This is a white dude purposely making a fake story about a black man abandoning his Asian family, which none of it was true. And I'm just like, what in the that's really, it's not even like, that's weird. That's really weird. that's just super weird to me, man. Bro,
I don't know why they be like this. And the next thing to like they tell, like I see Instagram posts about them saying they're telling Asian men that they own Asian woman. Like white dudes are saying like they own Asian woman.
Because I'm looking at it like, you guys, you don't even have to do that. You could just, like, homie, you could be an autistic looking like white dude, and like I'm talking about, you could be like tripped out looking, and you can literally go to an Asian country and get what, I'm not saying you're gonna get a 10 out of 10, but you could still get something better than here I'm talking about without even putting in any work. But but like I said, I believe, I bring all this up to say this. I think, because I was about to make that point with AJ, but he had left. I think we really underestimate how much, Caucasian men love their Caucasian women. And same thing with black men and black women too, mind you. I think because we look at it, because guys like us, we look at it as, okay, we're not getting what we want. Let's try something else, right? But men are willing to literally do all types of stuff, or I'll see. How about this? You'll see like dudes all up in OnlyFans models comment section calling them 304s. I'm like, well, she's an OnlyFans model. Like I'm talking about, they be in like porn stars comment section talking about you're sinning against God and writing Bible verses. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
That's not gonna work.
I'm like, y'all some weirdos.
I've seen it like every single time. Like, come on, bro.
These people are in, I'm talking about, they're in hookers and porn stars Instagram comments writing Bible verses and talking about them being 304s. What's your father gonna you can see it in the comment section. What are your father gonna think about this? You're just like,
your dad must be proud.
Like, like I said, first of all, there is an answer to that problem, but nobody wants to actually fix that problem, and that's the single mammy problem. But nobody wants to touch it, including the far right. Far left don't even think about it, but the far right, you would think they would want to talk about it, but they don't even want to talk about it.
They love family structure so much. Why not just fix it?
But that would also address, because they would have to be addressing people in their family, and then they would have to be addressing the people that they like. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that they like that dated and married a single mom. You know what I mean? And like, there's a lot of people that are guilty of this. And maybe it's another form of a dating strategy that I probably haven't really caught up to, but I think that's a pretty measly dating strategy, you know. Because I like even like you'll see the guys talking about like I've seen like weirdo comments where it'll be a white dude in the comment section talking about oh, look at all these black single moms. This is but not I'm talking about not blaming black moms, blaming dads. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, well, there's a reason why they're all single. It's not because of the dads. But it was like I'm talking about a racist white dude trying to make black dudes look bad. I'm like, bro, like I'm like, what's the point of this? You don't even like black women. Get out of here. You know, it's just like, right? But I guess maybe that's another form of a dating strategy because I know some of the most racist white dudes, they be having Asian wives and Asian girlfriends, and they be having brown girlfriends, like real brown girlfriends. So it's never really stopped anything, you know. So maybe it's another form of a dating strategy, another form that I haven't really addressed yet on the show. But I guess that's what it is. I guess that's what it is. But yeah, but I guess, you know, I think as men we underestimate how much, you know, the races of men really are like they're really loyal to their women first. You know,
Yeah.
we gotta understand it because we will just like guys like us, we're gonna go with the girl that respects us regardless of race.
Mm-hmm. I
Regardless of
agree.
race. Now, now, what's crazy is, you know, a lot of us in this space, we won't. Unfortunately, a lot of BWs are off the table, right? But
Yeah.
the black men in this space, they really mean that. They really mean that, right? So much so, like I remember a story had came out in the state I live in. It was a black woman. She got uh she she died because she went to a Tinder date to a white dude's house on the first
Oh,
date.
I heard about that story. And she had
Yeah,
a,
so
they found her missing leg.
yeah. So when that happened, it was like I'm talking about it was black dudes. They didn't care, bro. They really did not care. That's why she didn't really get the so-called justice that she deserved because I'm talking like there's black dudes that are really when they say when they're done with BWs, they're done. Like they really done for real. Like, you know, even AJ and them, like Doug, you know, AJ, Doug MPA, they for real when they say that. You know what I
The
mean? But
80% when they get rid of 80% of the
they mean like they mean it. They mean
yeah.
that shit, right? But I'll say this when it comes to white dudes, don't get it twisted. They loyal to their women. So if a white like say if a random white woman she points her finger, says this ninja did something to me, most white dudes are going to answer the call. Now, if it's a black woman, half of the black men will be like, yo, let's do something. There's going to be another half of black men that are going to be like, no. Like literally just like, I'm talking about, they're literally going to be like, no. You know what I mean? Just off GP, you know? That's why I be trying to advise black women like, yo, those days, like, you got to get y'all stuff together. Like you got to get your stuff together. I might do something to help. I might, but probably it'll probably be me, two other people, just off of doing the right thing, not because you're black. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about there's black dudes right now. Something happens to y'all, they don't care, bro. You know what I mean? So that's why I be trying to advise black women, be like, yo, y'all got to stop playing. Y'all gotta stop playing. I'm like, y'all gotta stop playing. These ninjas ain't playing out here. But the reason, and I say all of this also to say this, right? This is why white women still stick to that false accusation stuff like it's their bread and butter, because they know all they gotta say is this ninja did something to me. And you have a million white dudes at their beck and call, getting the torch, the ropes and the pitchforks ready. They know this. This is why I'm talking about even the red pill dudes were already willing to get their pitchforks and stuff, getting the rope. You know what I mean? All she got to say is he did something to me, and they know they have that power, right? So this is why, the ultimate game changer to this game is this: if white women start pointing their fingers and white dudes say, "I don't believe you," it's over.
Yeah.
That's how you know. That's how you will know. That's the only that's how women would be like, "Oh shit, we in trouble." So right now, that's like just the last bastion of hope, where basically you'll have women like this. They know they have that leverage over black men, because particularly for now, Caucasian women know they can do that, and they're gonna have a bunch of white dudes that will just bleed them off GP, because they already don't like that situation anyways. When they see a black dude with a white girl, they already don't like that situation, so they're just gonna believe it off GP. But if we come to a point where a girl says, if a white girl says, "Oh, this dude did this ninja did this to me," and the white dudes are just like, yeah, what else is on Sports Center today?" Right? as a response.
Yeah.
And if that happens, the irony of that is you'll actually see more white women with white men.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. That would actually they'll be like, "Oh damn, we can't even pull that no more." Okay. That would actually bring more white women to white men. Ironically, but
yeah.
Like I said, that's up to them. If you don't if simping comes in many different forms, and you have to beware. If you're doing that. But yeah, I think that's all I got for today. Pyro, any last thoughts? Because I know I kind of went on a bit of a tirade, but any last thoughts on the Lil Wayne situation?
Well, all I have to say is like, I think us dudes should avoid all these situations. Like, we should avoid a woman like this and like her daughters and crap. These women are completely like dangerous, and they're like, you said it before. Women are a liability right now. Like, you should just focus on yourself, else you will end up like Shannon Sharp. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, it's a massive. It's just too much of a liability. It's way too much of a liability. I'm talking about so much so like where you're seeing even like powerful Caucasian men, they get accusation put on them and they still be fired. And it's just like, so
if that's happening to them, we are not safe.
like that's how I look at it. I don't ever think, and mind you, that's regardless of race. I don't ever think, what a woman puts on a man, that can't happen to me. I no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know like it can happen to you, it can happen to my boys, it can happen to my male relatives, anybody can get this work. Anybody. And we've even seen where we saw that one chick where she just had this random white dude put in jail because she thought the guy looked creepy, so she just, oh, he sexually assaulted me. The dude never even met the bitch, and the guy was in jail for like a month.
Yeah.
And
was it yeah, I think it was an Indian looking dude. Yeah.
oh no, that was another situation. That was another one. I'm talking. There's a situation where there's so many situations of this, but it was a young white girl. You talking about? It was an older white woman that had that pull, which was scary to me. I'm like, how was an older white woman able to have that kind of pull? But anyways, it was like a young white girl. She was like 23 or 24, and she was pretty. So I already saw what happened. Like, it's a pretty young white girl. She thought some dude looked creepy, so she decided to use her privilege, I guess, for lack of a better term. She used her privilege to get some random white dude locked up. And then they looked at the guy was in jail for like a month, because the Indian guy you're talking about, he's still in jail. The white dude was in jail for like a month until they actually looked at the security cams and the stories, and they were like, none of this stuff lines up. And so then they ended up putting her in jail for lying. But I'm like, how is she able to have that kind of pull over you guys just because she's pretty? Because I knew what it was. Because if you look at the picture of the girl, she's pretty. I already knew what it was. It was a pretty black haired chick who was Caucasian, and she came in, teary eyed, with the makeup kind of half off, hair kind of frizzled. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of black women don't get believed, because their hair it doesn't match the emotions, right? So that's another part of the equation that a lot of people miss. That's why a lot of times, black women don't really get believed. So that's why I be laughing when they be trying stuff like that. But anyways, that's a whole other story. He came in all hair frizzled, makeup kind of messed up from the tears, and they believed her. They just believed her. I'm pretty sure that's how she came in like that, and they just locked up whoever she pointed the finger at. I'm talking about with no investigation. No investigation. They just like, oh, that guy looks weird. She made the pretty girl look. She made the pretty girl cry. Put him in jail. It's like elementary school all over again.
Yes.
It's never. Wait, were you gonna say? I thought you was gonna say something.
Yeah, I was saying, like, you made her cry, and then they're looking like they point at the wrong guy, and they point at you. You say, me? What did I do?
Yeah, it's literally like middle school, elementary school, but in adult form. It never really changes. The more that I think about it, it's like, damn, it's like elementary school. You make the pretty girl cry, or you make one of the girls cry. She points, whoever made her cry, or she thinks you made her cry, you're done. You're done. You're absolutely done. This is like the stuff that you'd be like when you were a kid. You're like, God damn it, why is she why is she crying and making me get into like, or like, anybody that grew up with sisters, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Kind of, same thing. But it's like it's your sister, so you don't care. But it's the same. It's same deal. Same deal. Who made the pretty girl cry? That's it. Right. But this is that's why this is why me personally, I'll see guys, they'll talk about the rules that they have over in the Middle East where, women can't do certain stuff. They can't raise their voice. They can't they can't yell at dudes in public. But I think I have no problem with that, because that's patriarchy, but that's actually congruent. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where, yes, we're patriarchal. Yes, we will do things for women. We will help women. We'll stomp out a dude if he took advantage of a woman. They'll do stuff like that. But there's certain rules that women must also abide by.
Yeah.
And you'll even see like the conservative dudes in the comment section like, wow, this is actual women abuse. I don't think it's women abuse. It's not. It's just them being congruent with their Quran, their holy scripture, you know what I mean? And how they look at life and not and they're actually following tradition. You know what I mean? Their stuff is actually congruent to what they believe in. You know, so people will be you'll see it in the comment section. You'll be like, now that's actual oppression. No, I don't even think that's oppression at all. It's probably how how it should be, but most men are afraid to say that. Even the most conservative of dudes, they're afraid to say that. You know what I mean? Because it'll make them look,
Yeah.
Bad in front of the ladies, right?
And even if you do say that, like they would use something like this. But what if that was your mother or your sister? Oh my god.
I get you. I'd be getting that too. I'd be like, I'm like, you guys have anything else? Like but this is that's the level of thinking I kind of want, the people like men to be on to actually understand what's going on in Middle East. It's not oppression of women. It's not. It's technically how it's supposed to be, Now, me, I don't mind it either way, but I don't think it's oppression. I don't mind how it is here, but at the same time, I'm not going to look at their traditions, their customs, their culture and be like, "Oh, you're oppressing." No. It's probably they're probably doing it the right way, most likely, Even the way we do things as Americans, we'll say, like, we'll look at another culture, like we'll say, like, we'll look in a village in like Africa or something, and they'll do things a certain way for thousands of years, and they won't really look to change it. And there's pros and cons that come with that. There's pros and cons that come with that because it's clearly not a perfect situation, but maybe there's a method to that madness. The women over there, they need their men. They can't say they don't need men, right? We've advanced. Our society is so advanced that the women think they don't need us, and they're technically not wrong.
But not only that one, it's also safe.
Exactly. It's completely safe. Technically, they're not wrong, right? So now, as I grow older, and you'll see like these missionaries, or you'll see these people, they go to these remote villages or these countries, and they'll ask them, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And they'll be like, nah, we're good. And now I'm getting it now. Now, like I said, there's pros and cons that come with that, because I still wouldn't want to live over there. You know what I mean? I still wouldn't want to live over there, but we got all these dudes complaining that they can't find a wife, or they can't, or the girls are just disrespecting them, or the girls. These are the pros and cons that come with an advanced society. This is the cons that come with it. You know what I mean? So those places over there, they've accepted their fate. They're like, look, at the end of the day, the population must continue. We have to keep these traditions going so things stay the way that they are. If you advance, I'm pretty sure the people of the past, they figured this out. You advance it too much, women are gonna act like they're not gonna need you. Constant friction between men and women, no kids being made, decline of society. So these are things that the people of the past already had it figured out. Because I used to be like, why don't these people of these villages, why don't they accept help? Why don't they accept this? And I'm like, oh, I get it now. I maybe we've underestimated, people want to talk about IQ and smartness and intelligence and all this stuff. Maybe we're too smart for our own good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe us in the first world country, we were we were too. I'm not gonna say too smart. I'll say we're too prideful to admit that we have blind spots, and this is something that we severely miscalculated. You know, the advancement of society, how quickly we advance. You know, especially in these. I'll say a lot has changed in the past 10 years. Just in the past 10 years, things have, what you talking about, or I'll say 15 years with the iPhone. Because once we got that iPhone, that's it. That's it. There's no coming back from that. Unless if you want to hope that all the Wi-Fi goes down, then then I guess you guys get what you wanted, but is that really what we want? You know? So it's just one of the, you know, the things that we got to deal with. It's just the pros and cons of being in a first world country / advanced society. The broads are gonna act like they don't need you no more,
Yeah.
you know, and disrespect you on the way there, you know, show off on the way there, talk down on you on the way there, and you're just like, damn, you know what I mean? But maybe there's a method to the madness. I've never, because you know, maybe there's a method to the madness to these other countries or certain places where they'll just keep things the way that they are. They don't want to advance it too much. And I'm like, why are they purposely doing this? I used to be like, why are they? It's like, I'm like, do these people want to die? And I'm like, oh, I get it. I get it. I get it. Because when you have it where we have it now, where you got like all these Gen Z women and all these Gen Z men, they don't want nothing to do with each other. You know, there's consequences to that. You got men don't want to create families because of the risks. They see the laws, they see how the women are acting. So down the line, we're gonna really see the consequences to that. It's really gonna be like how it is in, you know, the movie Ready Player One. We're technically kind of living like that already, but in the future, that's basically how it's gonna be. We're all gonna be on a bunch of tires, living on RVs, but we're all gonna have a PlayStation 7, living in VR land.
You're playing GTA 7.
Playing GTA 7 and with AI sex bots. You know, that's our future. You know, nobody's buying homes. Men don't want to even work to buy a home because they're like, why work so hard just for a woman to take half my stuff when she feels like it? So this is what happens when a society gets too advanced for its own good, you know. And the older I get, that's now I understand why certain societies in the world. This is why Africa's population is fine. India's population is it's fine. They don't care, you know. They understood a long time ago. At the end of the day, it's an arms race.
Yeah,
it's a matter of manpower, the numbers. So that's what they've chosen to just accept that and then just keep that. So even if they do advance, they still keep the tradition strong, you know. So they never let go of tradition, you know. And it's not like convenient tradition like we do it in America. It's like real traditional stuff, you know. So yeah, that's all I have to say for today. As regarding Lil Wayne, I find it funny that nobody's even taking the story seriously. Like even the mainstreams, they're like, this is cap. This is cap. You know, but let's see, because usually when like people come out with like claims and stuff, usually another girl pops out of nowhere. Oh, he did the same thing to me. You know, we'll see. We'll see. But nobody's buying it. Nobody's buying it so far. But yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. Did you? Oh, there's I don't know if you noticed, Pyro. There's been a lot of Corey Holcomb clips going viral lately. Like people are finally starting to pay attention.
Yeah.
Like, and
You saw that clip I sent you with the tennis player.
wait, which one? You said the tennis player?
Yes. The black tennis player, the woman. I don't remember what her name is, but she married a white guy, and she married her, she was beautiful, but she made herself ugly.
Oh, you talking about Serena Williams, right?
Yeah.
Or
Corey come bring up a board, and he said, "What the fuck?"
but what's crazy is like these clips, like the clips that he's making now, it's
Yeah.
not close to what he was doing like in like 2016, 2017, 2018, which was really most of his best 5150 work was like in 2018, 2016, 2015. You know what I mean? So it's fun. Like it's funny. Like a lot of his stuff is going viral now, and like you'll even see like in the comments, you'll be like, somebody said he's the new Kevin Samuels. I'm like, bro, Corey's been doing this for a while, like decades. Like he was one of the original founders, technically, like one of the unofficial founders of this of this kind of talk. You know what I mean? But I find it funny. A lot of his clips it's the clips that he's making today that are going viral, and it's the stuff that it's actually elementary to me because because he says it a lot every episode. I do find it, but I think it's about time. It's definitely been about time because Corey Holcomb has been one of the giants in the comedy world, and most of these channels in this space would not even have a channel if it wasn't for Corey Holcomb, Patrice O'Neal, right? Bill
Yeah.
Burr, Chris Rock. I'll say Chris Rock. Chris Rock was actually when you talk about comedians, technically it was really Chris Rock was one of the first people, saying all the uncomfortable stuff. Even like even when he was talking about O.J. Simpson, where he's like, I'm not saying he should have done it, but I understand, right? Like that kind of stuff is really it's actually really brave, especially during the time when he was saying it, because OJ Simpson, that's still a very sensitive topic for a lot of people, black and white, mind you. But
You can't say stuff like that. It's not funny.
that I wish honestly I really wish that I wish OJ Simpson would have been found guilty for that, because I really would, because it would at least it would have just stopped all the nonsense that came with it. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of Caucasian people that really felt a type of way about that case, and then black people were over celebrating that case, because at the end of the day, what people don't understand when it comes to court, it's not about what's right or wrong. It's about, can you afford justice?
Yeah.
OJ was able to afford his freedom by getting the best lawyers money can buy. And in in the state of California, it's not about, especially in the state of California, it's definitely not about right or wrong. It's just about, can you afford to get out of the jam? That's really what it's all about. But a lot of people don't really understand this. That's really what people should have gotten from that case. But people were making that case about race, where really it should have just told you that it really should have been a lesson to people that even if you're a black man convicted of murdering a white woman, if you have enough money, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
That's really what from that. And it should have showed you, oh, the justice system is not necessarily about what's right or wrong. It's just about whether you can afford it. But way too many people were in their feelings about that case. Way too many people. Like, you know what I mean? But that's life. That's life. But anyways, yeah, shout out to Corey Holcomb. Oh yeah, he's going live tomorrow. Next Corey Holcomb comedy show. I'm gonna have to. He's coming to New York, so I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna drive there. I'm gonna watch. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all I got for today. Denise Bidot, you bogus. You bogus for that. And I'll say this, I will be keeping an eye on the half-breed daughter. I will be keeping an eye out on that because you never know. You never know because remember what happened with Danielle, the Cash Me Outside girl. Remember her?
Yeah.
And then she ends up getting an OnlyFans and stuff like that. We'll see what move, because you'll be surprised. It'll be like stuff like this happens, and then she ends up being on somebody's Twitch. She ends up being on Kai Cenat's Twitch or Speed's Twitch, one of these goofballs Twitch stream.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it usually works. Or she ends up being on Love and Hip Hop 2 or 3 years later. You know, at the age of like 20, at the age of 21. Like, so we'll see. we'll see what comes with that. Say that one more time.
I always keep seeing something like that, especially on Instagram.
Yep. Because people forget the Cash Me Outside girl, she got famous she was like 13 when she got famous. So yep. So we'll see what comes up with that. Because she gives me troublemaker vibes / I'm gonna get famous at all costs type vibes. So we'll see what happens with her. And I'll say, like I said, I'm gonna claim it first. We're gonna definitely hear more from her in the future. We'll definitely gonna hear more from her in the future. I'll take credit for that. Unfortunately. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the show, man. Thank you, Pyro, man, for coming on.
Good
Also,
conversation.
yeah, man, same here. And AJ, thank you for coming on. I don't know if he's still listening, but he's probably asleep. But what clip should I finish it off with? Not sure. The Corey Holcomb one or the TD Jake swallowed up one. I don't know. I don't know. We'll do the TD Jakes one. It's just too funny, man. All right, man. Take it easy, guys, man. Peace out.
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you were at your wit's end? That is my point of view.